Spoilers of the Damned.
Hello and welcome to Spoilers of the Damned, episode number 24. Long live the new flesh!
Long live the new flesh!
Today we will be talking about David Cronenberg's Videodrome, off of the 80s.
Yeah, very 80s.
It was, it was interesting to rewatch this film again, because the last time I saw it was kind of like as a mid to late teenager.
Oof.
So, like half my life ago, basically.
Yeah.
And it's very different now to watch. It's much more uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah.
But before we get into that, just letting you know the spoiler warning. Sorry, I'm going to have to say that again. So that's spoiler warning for Videodrome. Make sure you have watched it before you listen to this cast. Yeah. Unless you're my mother-in-law, so let me just give a quick shout out to my mother-in-law, who's awesome and listens to our podcast even though she hasn't watched half the films.
Yeah,
so,
hello.
Shout out to you.
You can skip this film too.
Keep watching.
So
yeah. So how have you guys been? What have you been getting up to?
I've been pretty good. I'm drawing a blank. All of a sudden, the gym is the only thing I've really been up to. Really,
Those gains, bro.
Yeah, trying to get all that new flesh. You know. It has been fantastic, though. I've been trying to. I've actually been refraining from talking about working out on the podcast because I don't want to be like one of those guys. But if you haven't been and you think you should, get to it. It's amazing. That's all I'll say about that because it's been made my life so much better. I'm so much stronger and faster and smarter and handsomer. So yeah, nothing but positives. Not exactly horror related though.
Yeah, it's great. It's great news and everything. But if you could have some kind of like physical or mental trauma that you could talk about.
Oh, right.
Maybe, for 10 minutes.
God dang, what have I been
Well,
playing?
funnily enough, I mean, I don't have anything horror to speak about apart from the horror that is the crass commercialism of Black Friday.
Oh, yeah.
Which, at the time of recording, has just passed for the year.
Did anyone die
Finally.
this year? Does anyone know? Because that normally happens, which is also horrific.
Yeah. I can't get that TV. It's got £10 off.
Yeah. I'm gonna do it by crawling underneath a group of people to get in front of them. Get
Yeah, that's
crushed
a good
or
idea.
something. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Like, the moment that I heard that people die on Black Friday, I just don't leave the house on Black Friday. There's just no reason for it. I straight up stay home.
Yeah. There's no point at all. Absolutely 0 point.
Yeah. But I hear that a lot of that stuff's dying down now because digital sales are so good.
Yeah.
I mean, if nothing else, when I get like a thing saying Black Friday on the PSN and I go check it out and there's like a significant discount on something, then hey, why do I need to go to GameStop for that? I'll just, like $59.99 to $19.99 sounds like a good deal for a game I was going to buy anyway. Click. In fact, I went to Walmart. I actually did go to Walmart on Black Friday. Not on purpose, but my mom went, and I was going to defend her. I was, if nothing else, somebody's going to have to go through me to kill her for the TV. And I've been working out, so anyway.
Comes full circle.
Yeah, there you go. I made it work. The fun thing, though, is that I walked in, and there was like a 48-inch 4G LG brand TV for like $328. And I was like, I could buy several of those. Like for a moment, I hyperventilated. I was like, I could get all of them. I could just get.
You just feel the Black Friday coming on, like inside
like
you.
the Black Plague, exactly. I could just take 3 of those, put them in my cart, pay for them, and leave. But no,
That sounds like. I just want to say that sounds like what the complete and utter assholes around me locally did with Titanfall 2. I heard that Asda was selling it for £5, which I guess is about $5 nowadays because the economy sucks.
Brexit.
No offense.
I was like, fuck you.
And that was a physical box. And you know me, I'd like to go out and get my physical boxes. So I went off to Asda. I managed to find Infinite Warfare for £5. So I bought that. And today I went to a different Asda. I managed to pick up Batman Return to Arkham or whatever it's called, Arkham Classic thing.
Oh, yeah.
For £5, but no Titanfall 2 anywhere, and I think it's because people have been buying them up to sell.
Yeah.
It's weird, though. I mean, they're not going to make that much money from it because it's been out a while.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Titanfall 2 is the only one that I think like out of those three titles, that is probably like the newest and maybe still worth some money. I mean, I hear the campaign's really good. So
yeah, the gameplay.
But I mean,
really
they
good
halved Wolfenstein 2 at price, and that came out
Yeah, that was
a
cheap.
month ago.
That was cheap everywhere.
Yeah, it's £24.
That's mental.
So I guess about $24.
Yeah.
It's not bad at all, is it, really, considering it's just come out? I think it's because Bethesda know they're going to make so much money from, like, Fallout and Oblivion, or Elder Scrolls, sorry, that they just know they can just, like, slice the price of every other game they release.
Well,
Yeah.
that, and I think they kind of see, like, potential season passes
Yeah.
and
hey-
things like that kind of opening up.
Yeah.
And hey, if they're going to release their games a little bit cheaper, so that then we're more inclined to buy the season pass, that's fine with me, because then if I'm only actually playing with the combination of the season pass and the game, original game price, if I'm then only paying like £50, then
Yeah.
I've basically paid full price for a regular game.
Yeah.
So if they do it
yeah,
that way,
except,
it's fine
like,
with me.
To sticklers like me, that's not on the disc.
Damn it.
That's what happened to me though, because I bought Injustice 2 on the PSN Black Friday sale. It was $60 slashed down to $20, and I was gonna get it anyway because I wanted to play as the Ninja Turtles DLC that's coming out soon, and also I found out that Hellboy is a playable character, and I was like, oh my god, now I gotta play this shit. It's got Hellboy and the Turtles, and I mean maybe I'll mess around with the Joker or some of the other DC characters who I don't really care about, but for the most part, there's two strong characters I want to play as, and then I thought, hell, if I'm gonna buy this for $20, and Hellboy is like $5 DLC, and the Turtles will probably be $5 DLC, that's $30, still $30, which is not the $60 that they were originally charging, so I'm actually still coming out ahead. And, it's just weird to start thinking of video games like that. Like, if I buy this game and the DLC, how much will I have eventually spent? Kind of like if you own a car, but it's a shit car, but it's like $500, it's for the shit car. But how much more money will you spend in repairs? Let me think about this. Now we think about games in the same way, and it's kind of horrific.
It is, for sure.
But speaking on top of that, though, with Black Friday, we went to the electronics section, and it's just I really hate this feeling of being moved around like cattle, but there's like no way to really think about it any other way, because they have these bins, like wide bins with color-coded dots on them, and the color codes indicate a certain price, and it's full of DVDs and Blu-rays and video games and stuff, just all piled up in there, kind of like slop in a pig pen or something like that.
Like troughs.
Yeah, like troughs, thank you. That's the word I was looking for. And you just pick something up, look at the color dot price, and go, oh, this is $4. Do I really want this? And the people just like milling around, pushing their carts, kind of like the fucking zombies in a mall or something like that.
Yeah,
and I'm just like,
dead.
yeah. And I just feel like, no, this isn't me. I'm human. I'm not going to do this. I'm human. But they had Final Fantasy 12, the remake, for $20. So I was like, okay, I want that.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah, it's like I found a slice of pizza in the trough.
Like, looks alright, yeah, it's not too bad.
Something to eat
Script
here.
the rest of the stuff off. Like, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at the one thing I sort of had. I decided I didn't want to spend a lot of money on Black Friday, mainly because, I don't have a lot of money.
Yeah.
But I have in the past, so I really wanted to avoid it. But the one thing I was keeping my eye on, just in case, was PS4 Pros, because I would really like a PS4 Pro. And the price is creeping down slowly, but I was kind of looking out for Black Friday deals, and there were none.
No,
So I'm going to hang on until January sales.
Yeah, you're more likely to get them in the Boxing Day or January sales.
Yeah.
I was quite surprised. I was like keeping on. Like, again, I wasn't looking for anything for myself. I was looking. I mean, I was checking out deals anyway, just to see if there was anything good, and I wanted it, and I could tell someone, something for Christmas. But because I've been trying not to buy lots of things for myself around this time of year now. But I was also just looking out for stuff for other people, for presents as well, in case anything took my fancy. And there wasn't really a lot. It didn't feel like there was a lot at all this year, and the deals weren't even that good. On Amazon, particularly, they weren't very good.
Because, I mean, in the past, Amazon have had
Really
great
good
deals. I got the Twin Peaks box set in a Black Friday deal.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, they were doing that, and it was in it was stupidly cheap, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was £15-20.
Yeah.
Nowadays it's probably down to about that, but at the time that was I don't know, that was 8 years ago or maybe 7 years ago.
Yeah, because that would have been the gold box one, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It was before the Blue Rose special edition came out with Fire Walk With Me and all the deleted scenes from that, like the missing pieces. Mm-hmm. So that was a really good deal for them. But yeah, it was. I was keeping an eye on like deals in other places. And I was like, no. It was like really. It felt like on Amazon in particular. It was a lot of stuff that was like unnecessary. Like just you'd buy it because.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to fucking buy that. I want to buy that shit.
Well, that is pretty much Black Friday in a sentence. Buy it because.
Yeah. It wasn't really good. That like usually. I mean, I remember one year I got Arkham Origins, the special edition of Arkham Origins for like. I think it was like 15 quid, and that was one that came with the really nice Batman and Joker statue, where he's like holding Joker up by the like his collar, and it's a gorgeous model. It was so cheap, and the game came like a steel box case. It's really nice, and it was so cheap. They'd slash like 50 quid off or something, but I didn't see anything like that this year at all. No special editions of stuff cheap. Not really any games cheap either. Usually they just like took £5 or £10 off, like on Amazon.
Yeah.
So it's bizarre.
Anything to bait you into the store and maybe spend money you weren't planning on spending.
Yeah.
But
I didn't.
Like for me, it's when I got that FF12, I gave it to Mom, and she'll wrap it up and give it to me for Christmas. Because I'm not gonna play it right now anyway. I just want to own it, and might as well throw that under the tree.
It can wait.
Yeah. Funny enough, actually, I did the same thing with FF15 last year. I have yet to play that. But they're not done making it anyway, so whatever.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm still coming out ahead.
Ooh. Yeah, that reminds me. I need to dig my Resident Evil 7 out of storage.
Yes.
Because I've paid for Not a Hero and anything else that's coming in this new update. I think there's a Zoe thing as well.
It's out now, I think, the Zoe one.
Is it? Oh,
I think
shit.
so, yeah, because Not a Hero is next month. And that's the free one.
I know. I literally packed the Resident Evil 7 box away, I guess, in like June. So
when it was supposed,
when I was
Not
done
a Hero, the free DLC was supposed to come out like autumn or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, originally it was supposed to be like spring 2017, and then it was summer.
And then it kept getting pushed further
Christmas.
back.
Yeah.
It better be damn good at this point.
Yeah.
Have you seen the trailer for it?
No.
I have.
It's not great looking.
It looks like
it's more actiony. It's more actiony than Resident Evil 7 was.
Yeah,
it's
I'm
a lot closer to an FPS.
Yeah, I'm worried that because obviously people moaned like, it's too slow, but you wanted a classic Resident Evil. Yeah, but it's first person now. I'm worried that they've got their reason Not a Hero didn't come out straight away because they've gone right, scrap it and just make it an action game like Resident Evil 5. Like, because it's Chris, that's what I'm really worried about. Because you see him like punching the molded.
Yeah, it looks totally more actiony.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to touch those things with my hands.
No. But they've punched
that.
plenty of things they weren't supposed to touch with their hands.
Yeah. The man punched boulders, for God's sake. You know,
Yeah. You're not supposed to touch
further.
boulders with your hands either, so.
Especially by volcanoes.
Yeah.
Yes, Chris, punch it. That'll work. I'm going away.
It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, you're surrounded by lava, right? But as long as you don't touch it for too long, you'll be fine. Like, no, that's not how it works.
I'm amazed neither of them like passed out from heat exhaustion in the entire battle.
Yeah, I mean, just being there stark naked would be too hot. You know, you just can't be cool enough in a volcano.
Oh, Chris. But I'm hoping it's good. I think they're planning on tying up the whole thing with Lucas, aren't they? I think that's what I've heard.
Yeah, which another thing about the trailer that I noticed is the lip syncing was really, really bad for Lucas. I'm kind of hoping that what they've done is use a different clip of dialogue with a different thing of him saying it, because the animation is so poor, and I mean really poor, like
Goldman.
you would not expect that from Capcom. Basically,
It's
especially
me,
after
Goldman.
the great work they did on Resident Evil 7.
There's several points in RE7, and this is because I've watched it through my LP and my editing and that kind of stuff, where especially Margaret, her lip syncing was terrible. like the entire time. Like her lip syncing was awful.
I can think of a couple of moments, like when she goes "get the hell out," and slams that door. That's pretty bad. But this was worse in my opinion.
Oh wow!
Like, it's the worst I've seen for any Resident Evil 7 like cutscene.
Okay.
Was on that trailer.
Okay.
In fact, I scrolled through the comments for like 2 minutes to see if anyone else had said the same thing as me, and no one had. And I was just like, oh, maybe I'm on my own with this. But
no, you're not. I don't know. I think it's one of those things where it's like you don't fully accept all the details into your brain because you're just like, oh my god, I'm playing new game. You know, like you
new game, which is fun.
Yeah, it's fun because it's new and I paid for it. And all that stuff sort of washes over you. But like I said, since I was like editing and re-recording, and I tried to do it like 3 times because I had a non-commentary LP, then I was going to do a live commentary LP, and I eventually scrapped that because I don't want to play RE7 anymore. I've done enough. I don't want to do it anymore. And also
I was determined I was going to get all the achievements in it, and then I started playing that fucking pontoon game, 21 Blackjack.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah,
Fuck
screw that.
Yeah, that's not fun.
I've got time for other things, you know. It's like I can be playing something
Computer
else.
cheats. Like I got closer to defeating Ethan Must Die mode than I did that 21 one.
Yeah, fuck that.
Right.
Fuck that hard.
See, that's the thing too. Like you only have 24 hours in your day, and that's every day of your life. So like when they throw these challenges at you, it's like you really have to weigh the expense of your time against the cost of what they're asking you to do, you know. And it's like when it starts to balance one way or the other, it's like you're gonna have to quit. It doesn't matter if you're a hardcore gamer or whatever. Just respect yourself enough.
And like typical shit deals, like already a third of that is accounted for in sleep. So
oh yeah, exactly.
it's like, god damn it, 24 hours in the day. Oh yeah, that's loads. Well wait, I've got to use this on sleep and this on eating.
Yeah. And cooking. I mean, raw meat doesn't make you live very long. Oh man, that's
Chris. I can see him kind of punching boulders and eating like raw steak at the same time. In my head, there's similar kind of macho thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, rare steak.
Boulder, eat meat.
A rare steak wouldn't be too bad, but you know, you have to cook it a little bit. And he's in a volcano anyway, so I'm pretty sure all the bacteria is all dead.
Isn't that how video games work? You chuck something into lava, it comes back out cooked. Yeah, kind of thing.
You just like dip it in.
Just slowly let it simmer. Pull it out. Brush off the brimstone and bon appetit.
You've got like a little bit of meat left.
So.
Oh my god, we're talking about cooking things in volcanoes. Mm-hmm. It's already gone crazy.
Yeah.
Well, it seems, it's a natural resource that is already heated to an extremely high level, so you don't have to plug anything in or like, it's very eco-friendly, to be honest, to cook things in a volcano.
You know what else is even more efficient, though? Like, being in the volcano, you're cooking yourself. Eat your arm.
Nice.
It's true. Taste your own first.
Oh, wow.
I'm so glad I put all these muscles on.
There's so much more meat now. I'll live forever.
Oh, could you? I just have images of Chris doing that now. It's weird. Chris Redfield just eating his own arm.
Yeah.
I just feel like we can't get away from flesh, and it's kind of scary. Like we went off in a completely different like direction from Videodrome, and yet we're talking about like flesh.
Yes.
Yeah. It could be worse. We could be talking about The Evil Within 2.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you finished it, haven't you?
Yeah.
I will watch your Let's Plays once I've finished Evil Within 1.
The ending is so shit.
Really?
It just ends.
Oh no! Is there a season pass?
They just walk out the room. And you're like,
they just walk out.
It's all resolved. It's so neatly and like so conveniently. Like, oh, and yeah, they do this one little thing that's a massive fucking flaw in the system. Like the whole thing that in this one's like someone who says like, yes, you don't understand. These people are all this company are all plugged into to STEM. I will rule the world. So like, or they'll know that because they're kind of scanning and they're watching everything that's going on, and they'll just turn it off. It's like raw fire. But yeah, the thing at the end happens at the end, and they walk out the room, and the nice music plays, and then a really terrible rendition of "Ordinary World" by Duran Duran plays. It's like, yeah. Like, no, don't stop that. And then little girl sings as well. It's nice. It's terrible.
Wow.
In our ordinary world. Like, please make it stop. So, and then there's a post-credit sequence that had me in a fit of giggles because it's really stupid. But yeah, it was alright. Again, it did stuff that I really liked, but then there was stuff I really hated as well and disliked and found boring, which made it really frustrating. Like, it did some really cool psychological and messed up dream-like horror like things, like really cool stuff. Like, you'd go into a room and then you turn around and like and there'd suddenly be like a long corridor behind you as you turn the camera around or something like that. And it was really cool because it messes with your head, because then you don't know where you are anymore. But it was just really cliched in places. Like, there's one character, and like the generic evil company man who literally sits when he's like sat there watching them. He's on a couch. He's got this big armchair couch-like thing, with two guards either side of him, like agents from the Matrix, and he's just like got a huge backlight behind him. He's like, "How is it going, Kidman?" It's like, what are you? Are you trying to look like a Bond villain? Why would you do that? And he's like saying something to one of these characters. Yeah. He's like, "Why would you do this? You could have had everything. Are you doing it for him? For the little girl?" And the woman goes, "No, I'm doing it for me." And they literally burst out laughing because it was so hilarious in the way it was delivered. It's like, "No, I'm doing it for me."
Evil plans, they need the power on. Either extravagant lights that serve no purpose.
It's like, why would you do it? It'd make talking to the man so difficult. Like, no, I can't. You're just like you're just silhouetted and it's hurting my eyes.
Yeah. I must only be perceived in silhouette. It's kind of like that guy in Videodrome who can only deliver like monologue.
Yeah, this is a reason for that. Like, they established why he does it. This guy's just like, I want to look as evil as possible. And that is pretty much the villain's character. Like he's not the main villain, but he's one of the villains. He's literally just comic book. He's like, you know how everyone makes fun of like Weyland-Yutani in like Aliens, or like the Umbrella Corporation, how like they are inherently bad people, but you think of like how comic book villain they could be if they had like a throne. Yeah, he's basically got a throne. With like two agents side by side of him. It's really funny. But yeah, it was alright. I will say one thing, it had some cool unlocks. Like, when you beat it, you unlocked 3 costumes and a new weapon for New Game Plus. Like you got a Magnum, like a big old like hand cannon, like Barry Burton's revolver.
Or the gun in Resident Evil 7 that only holds 3 bullets.
Yeah, like the really powerful. Yeah, so you unlock like something really powerful. 3 costumes. And so I thought that was nice, and I sat there and thought, so I mean, I was quite critical of the game at times, and I liked other stuff, but at least I unlocked stuff. I beat the game, and it went, here you go, here's some stuff you've achieved.
Yeah, at least that wasn't a microtransaction.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, I guess we're sat here now going, isn't that quaint?
It's terrible, isn't it?
Like, well, before it's like that used to be as standard.
Yeah, but I was like, you know what? It was rough in a few places, but if I did ever want to play it through again for whatever reason, I'm like, at least I've got some cool stuff I can play around with.
Yeah.
At least I can do that.
And like, it used to be that like games didn't have unlocks like that, you know, and then eventually people started finding unlocks like that because they're being put in the game, and then it was like super cool because at that point you could like, okay, when I beat this game, I'll get something nice to beat the game again with. Especially with the Resident Evil games, like costumes and that kind of stuff. Something to sort of like go, yeah, see, I've earned this pride and accomplishment by beating the game that I bought. And then you find out you can beat it faster with fewer saves, and you get like an infinite ammo rocket launcher or a Gatling gun. And it's like, oh man, this would be so fun, because then I can go to that room with those lickers and just blow them away.
William Birkin, not a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great, and it's fun when you unlock stuff like that. It was like in Resident Evil 2 when you realise when you change outfits for either of them, like Claire gets a revolver, like basically like revolver oscilants.
I think it's like a Colt
gun
SAA.
trace. Yeah, and then you fire really quickly, or with Leon.
I think
like
she even does the kind of thing like pressing on the hammer. Is it? The
yeah,
hammer
she does
gun?
that, so you can fire really quick.
Yeah.
And well, with Leon, he like holds his gun like gangster style, but fires quicker. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, I like unlocking stuff like that. It's fun. It's encouraging me to play the game again.
Yeah.
You know,
Get
it's
more
like
out of your
spend more time
investment.
with the game. Yeah, exactly. And you get your money's worth. So, yeah, of all the problems I had with Evil Within 2, like, I mean, it's worth playing, but there's just some missteps. Like, there's one villain that they build up, and you're like, cool, right? And you're building up to like fight him, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna fight him, I'm gonna kick his ass, and you don't even fight him. You just fight weaker versions of 3 of the bosses from the first one.
Oh.
Okay.
And then someone else kills him. You don't even do it. Someone else turns up and just stabs him.
Good.
And I was like, what the I'm like, oh, I thought I was going to have a cool fight. Okay, no, I guess I'll fuck myself. It's a giant PVA glue monster, so, yeah, weird game. Cool
Weird
moments, but, I think it's a game that if you're interested in it, wait until it's a bit cheaper. Which it is at the moment because of the Black Friday sales, because they last until tomorrow night, I think. So it's like 25 quid. So
by the
that's
time
not-
people actually hear this podcast, it won't be tomorrow
it'll
night.
be over.
Pure evil.
Only you two will know of the deal. But yeah, I mean, when it's cheaper, it's worth picking up. Like but I got 16 hours out of it, so I got some
So
time.
much
out
like
of
the
it.
first one, I guess.
Yeah, I do. I now understand what you said, Tom, about that reviewer that said it makes you appreciate the first one more.
Oh, okay.
I felt there was more structure in
Wow.
the first one.
Wow. And you're saying this to me like I haven't played it since the last time I played it, which was I go into a building and then the whole city blows up and then I'm in the fucking countryside.
Yeah.
Well, because
And that structure.
Well, because at least in that one there was like different monster types. In this one you kind of just there are like weird little crawly monsters that you fight that are a bit annoying, and big flesh monsters, but most of the regular enemies are just 3 different types of dudes. You've got mouldy zombie dudes, fire dudes, and PVA glue dudes. It's just like, I want to fight other things than dudes. They're boring. I could go out in the street and fight people. I want to fight weird monsters.
Yeah, I feel that's what Resident Evil 7 was missing as well, was
Yeah.
different enemies.
Yeah, it was, because you mainly fought with the moulded, which was fine, but they were usually on their, like, just, like, you know, on their, they're just, like, walking towards you, like, they kind of stumbled towards you a bit like zombies as well, didn't they?
Yeah.
I mean, there were the ones on all fours, but it would have been nice if they were, like, some slightly different things. Like, weird things,
Yeah,
like, hanging from the ceiling or something.
I maintain, I still think Resident Evil 8 or you know, whatever comes next, it would be amazing if it was just kind of, you know, ordinary zombies and lickers and, you know, like mutants and zombie dogs and all that kind of stuff. Like in a, you know, like a closed off bit of a city or something. It would be really cool.
Yeah.
Or even, like, with Evie, they did the whole thing where she can make you see things. Just have some really weird shit. Why not? Like, if we've
Yeah, I
established
don't mind
there
that
are
so
things like
much, but they went a bit kind of full Samara with it.
Yeah, she was a bit.
Like, ooh, ooga booga booga, I can scare you.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like, have her, like, she can make you, like, see things that aren't there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so you'd start questioning, like, I don't want to waste ammo.
How about this? See things
For a
that
joke.
aren't there, like you're saying. But what about like if it's like you go to a door, you know you need a key, you find the key, and then like the key disappears or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, or the door melts or something.
Yeah.
Or like the key, when you go to check your inventory, is, like, turned into a different item.
Oh
It's like,
wow.
why have I got a stick? why have I got a branch in my inventory?
I did not pick up a stick. I know I didn't pick up a stick. Why is this?
And then you
here?
start, especially if you like, if it was something relevant to the location you found the key, because
Yeah.
then it would make you question yourself, going, no, I did pick up a key. Why would I have a branch? Well, I was outside when I picked. I'll go out and check.
And then what if you go to the door that needs the key, you use the stick, it turns back into the key.
Yeah, you know that the problem here is that like there will be hundreds of comments on message boards saying, "I can't find the fucking key.
All I have is
Like, I just keep picking up sticks. What's going on? Oh, I
love
can't
that.
do it. Game shit."
No, but you see, that's the
It's
thing.
rubbish.
You want that. Unfortunately, you want that. Except for like in the case of Mighty Number 9, where everyone hated it and it wasn't a good game to begin with. As long as the Resident Evil 8 or whatever game we're talking about here, it has those things, but it's still a good game, then like Rick and Morty, for example, people will still love it.
Yeah. Well, it's like, or even if they did it more like, you know how Eternal Darkness had lots of random effects.
Yeah.
Have something like that in this that's like random. So you could say something, yeah, what was up with that bit where I picked up a key and it turned to a branch and they go, the fuck are you talking about? Well, that never happened to me.
That never happened to you, yeah.
Yeah, like, what? No, yeah, it's that bit. No, I use the key and I just go outside.
Yeah. Oh, what about like okay, Resident Evil 7? Okay, you're trying to escape the house, right?
Yeah.
Some people just start the game with the key in their apartment in their inventory, and they're allowed to escape the house, and the credits roll.
Nice.
Or Jack
Or
just goes,
Silent Hill 4. It's just he opens the door because there's no locks.
he realizes, he goes, wait a second, these are just chains.
Yeah, let me just get these
Or he
down.
just jumps out the window.
Like let me just like unscrew the bolts that are not the bolts, but the little loops that are holding the chains on my door, or using like anything to just like pop the screw off or whatever, and then to get the chains down, and then just open my own fucking door.
Yeah, considering like at one point he has like lots of melee weapons, like he has like crowbars and shit.
Yeah, man.
Come on, man, break a window.
What the hell?
Oh, that'd be funny. What the hell?
Yeah.
What the hell? What the hell?
What the hell?
That's like the only thing he says the whole game, isn't it? What the hell?
Yeah.
He seems really sleepy the whole time. Just really quite sleepy.
He's like so done with this shit. It's like they're like, isn't this like place weird? Yeah, whatever. I just want to get out of my apartment. Okay.
I've been
There's
dying
Ghost
for
Henry.
Pizza Hut. Pizza is on sale, and I can't go out and get it.
It's like, how upset that makes me. I can see the van delivering to other houses. Other apartments. That's sake, Walter. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry, man. Just opens the door and lets him go. And then they go for pizza.
Yeah.
Him and Walter Sullivan. That should have been the joke ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, the joke ending should have been like, because you find out that Walter is behind the wall, like it before you actually like open it, or just as you open it, he's kind of like hanging there.
Yeah.
It would be like he's there with a box of pizza, like, hey,
Happy birthday.
I'm your neighbour. You've broken the wall into my apartment. Have some pizza.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Hey, bro. I was wondering how long it took you to find me. Want some pizza?
Yeah. And then the true nightmare would be that pizza has black olives on it.
Ah! That would be
There's
horrendous.
nothing wrong with black olives.
There is everything wrong
There
with
is
black
nothing
olives on
wrong with
pizza.
all olives are welcome. They are all equally brilliant.
I know.
I love olives.
I know you like them. That's why I said that.
Goddamn
But I
olives.
don't like them at all. So I would
It
be
could be
like,
worse.
I would be sorely disappointed if I walked in there and like the dude had pizza. I was like, fuck yeah! And it's like covered in black olives. No,
No! Credits roll.
yeah.
And
like-
all you can hear during the credits is just Henry crying. I have to be honest.
What the hell?
What the hell? Yeah. Like the black olives are in a smiley face formation on the pizza. What the hell? No! And then you look at Walter and he's got black olives on his face. What?
Oh, twist ending. It's just
Then
a
the
giant
room
olive.
just fills with black olives. Ah! What happened?
I am olives. Ah!
All of these reactions are like way higher than Henry's like energy level. Seriously, it would just be what the hell again, like with kind of like a sleepy look.
Yeah.
Or he just dropped to his
hell?
knees like James in the dog ending.
Yeah.
So he's like, what the hell? And just drops to his knees.
Man. That kind of reminds me, strangely, what the hell was I watching? I was watching a thing. Maybe I was reading... No, I was reading a thing on Twitter. I barely ever go to Twitter. But there was a thing about on Twitter that somebody posted about... oh, fuck me. Alright, Cthulhu-esque. Lovecraft. H.P. Lovecraft. And
Yeah.
he was writing a thing about how he likes to intentionally leave out details when he talks about horror because, you know, it leaves everything to the imagination. But he also found it just much easier to write horror that way. And I don't know why I brought that up just now, but it's just like what would Lovecraft do in that situation where you go in, Yeah, Walter with the pizza, but then you just don't see anything else, and you hear a scream. Ah! I don't know. I don't really know where I'm going with this, but it's like Lovecraft is supposed to be the extreme horror, and then Silent Hill 4 is like I think that's a really scary game, and my brain just like threw those two ideas together, and I just poorly represented that to you both on the podcast. So.
Well, no, I think the result would be a 400-page thread on the Silent Hill forum saying, what happens when it cuts to black and we hear that scream?
Yeah.
Does Henry not like olives? Is
he lactose intolerant?
Or maybe he doesn't like pizza. The pizza represents, like a smiley face.
Thank you.
It's like his inner fears.
You guys are my safety net right now. There would be a 400-page thing on the forums, though, that's for sure. They'd just be like, whoa, what's that all about?
What does it represent? What does the pizza represent?
Was it
It's
poisoned?
Hunger.
Yeah.
Is it poison? It's a fake pizza.
It's a fake fucking plastic pizza.
It's not even cooked. It's frozen.
Oh!
Oven ready.
And the oven's broken.
No! And the front door's locked.
It's funny you should say that Silent Hill 4 is really scary, because I do find Silent Hill 4 really genuinely creepy as well.
Yeah.
I think definitely more so than 3 and 1. Maybe on a level with 2. Because of all those kind of like weird things it does.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's like the fact that the door's just chained like that is just so weird.
Yeah.
And it's the way he... And it's got that one-for-one reality to it just because of the way he just doesn't react. It's like,
Right.
oh, still locked.
Well, it's
How long have
not
you been
threatening.
there?
It's not threatening. It's just, okay, there's chains there. Kind of like Tom nailed it on the head when he said that Henry seems very sleepy. And it's like, that's how I would be if I was that sleepy. Like, one time in my actual life, this didn't, like, the chains didn't happen, but I was like, we had a basement that was like sort of becoming a guest room kind of thing, but there weren't any walls up. It was still concrete on the floor, some rugs thrown about, but there was like a queen size bed down there, and I just passed out on the bed because the computer's right next to that, and I was playing computer, got tired, slept on the bed, and that was during the daytime. And then night happens. I wake up in the middle of the night in the basement. Concrete floor, cold, can't see a damn thing, no lights on. The light switch is on the wall near the stairs. And I get up, I'm like 13 or 14, so I'm like, I'm still pretty impressionable as far as fear goes. There could be spiders at least,
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And so I get up, and I know I need to get out. Or I could stay in bed until morning. But I want to go upstairs. I want to go to my room. I want to be comfortable, and I eventually get out of bed, and I sort of like wander with my hands out, trying to find the walls, trying to find a light switch, trying to find anything, and I find the wall, and I walk towards the stairs, and I move my hands where the light switch is supposed to be, and I cannot find it for like 15 minutes.
Oh, man.
And I'm like freaking out.
People pay to have experiences like this now. Like, you go to someone and say, I want to walk around in the dark 50 minutes scared shitless, please, here's £50. And like, you cultivated it by yourself. That's awesome.
Yeah. And like the thing is though, there's no light switch where I was feeling my hand. Where I had my hand on the wall. There never was, there never will be in the future. I'm in the future, in case you didn't know. There's no light switch there, but my brain was still thinking there's a light switch there, and it held on to that thought for what felt like 15 minutes, and then eventually I just went upstairs.
That's awesome as well, because I was going to say, like, back then when you were like 13, 14, that could happen, but nowadays, like, everyone's got their phone in their pocket. You just like turn the flashlight on.
Yeah, exactly.
But then again, actually, if you're a kid though, you're like, I don't want to turn my flashlight on because of what if there's something down here.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like nightmare fuel.
Yeah.
But I mean, going back to Silent Hill 4, that's what I love about Silent Hill 4 is there's one particular haunting, because I guess they're called hauntings, where things appear in the wall or go boo at the window.
Yeah.
And the one where you look through the peephole and you see Henry and he's dead,
Yes.
standing outside, and he's muttering under his breath.
Yes.
Oh my god.
He's just like trembling, isn't he? Like, why,
and it still gives, because I mean at the time I was quite active on the Silent Hill forums. I was trying to listen to what he was saying to try and see if there was something in there. So I had it on my TV turned up really loud, and it just shit me up. Nothing else.
He is saying something, isn't he?
he's like barely muttering. Like I don't think I could make out anything intelligible, but he's definitely muttering something, and that's the creepy bit.
It's horrible. It's just the idea of seeing and it's because that's the character you're playing as is what is looking through and seeing himself.
Yeah.
Dead outside his door. There's something really creepy about that.
Yeah, that and the fact that like Walter's dead and bricked in the corridor. That kind of plays into the Silent Hill 2 thing I like about like Mary's in the trunk all along. He's like there in the apartment the whole time, and that kind of thing just makes me shudder.
Yeah, it's creepy. It's creepy as shit.
Yeah.
And we'll probably never see anything like that again from the Silent Hill series.
From any series, to be honest. Like, I mean, how often, like, people don't make games like that anymore, in my opinion.
And if they do, they're indie games. They're like Amnesia. Because Amnesia didn't cost a lot to make. It's something like Amnesia or, along those lines, or Penumbra, which are the same people. You're not... And if it is going to be like more mainstream stuff, it's going to be just a jump scare. Like a lesser studio or lesser developers. That scene with when Henry looks through the eye hole and sees himself dead and muttering something and like trembling his eyes, because his eyes are all like cut out, aren't they?
No, they're bleeding
Blood from his eyes or something.
I think
that's it.
They're
They're
bleeding.
Sorry.
They're definitely bleeding.
Yeah.
And he's like, there's no music. Like that's why it's creepy, is because you're just looking through. And it's just there.
A picture up of it. Henry haunting son.
Whereas a lesser studio would, you look through it and you go, "Dun!" And you're like, so scary, and then it disappear. You're like, oh my god, that was so scary. Like, no, it wasn't. It was just startling. It was something popping out and screaming and then going away again.
And the worst part about that...
fuck, I've got an animated GIF of this, by the way, guys. I'll put it in the show notes.
Cool. The worst part about that is
the
the disappearing suggestion that you said. Like, they would make the loud noise and then the thing would disappear. That's the worst part, because like the fact that it never goes away in Silent Hill 4, like at least during the time that you're in the apartment, is what makes it so creepy. You could just turn around and look back in there again and he's still there. Just,
and
fucking scary.
And also it's that that's why it worked so well in like PT as well, because sometimes it was like, I need to keep my eye on her so she doesn't leave and move, because I need to know where she is.
Yeah,
it's like that, isn't it? It's like I need to keep looking at that so it doesn't move.
Yeah,
it's like because I've got quite bad arachnophobia, and despite being really scared of particular spiders, not all spiders but particular spiders, I'm like that where I can't divert my eyes from it, because I need to make sure it doesn't leave.
Yeah,
I need to make sure it stays where it is so I can get rid of it.
I got a story for you then.
Oh, fuck.
No, it's not that bad. Just really quick though. Like every morning when I lived in an apartment with some friends, I had like a mug next to the sink, and I would put water in it, and I would take a vitamin pill or whatever every morning. And one morning I walked over there, I got my water, put it in there, got my vitamin pill, held it in my hand, picked up the mug, and there was a large spider floating in the water in my mug. And, and I was pulling it up to my face, and then, oh shit, and I was like holding it, and I was staring at it, like you said, like you just need to keep your eyes on it. You don't want it to go anywhere, but you don't want to, you don't want to go anywhere. You're in a Mexican standoff kind of situation where it's like one of us has to do something. But the spider was just cool being in the water. He was hanging out, and I was like,
"Hey, buddy."
Yeah, hey man, good morning.
Like, God damn it, get out of here! How many times I have to tell you? You gotta get out.
Yeah.
Oh, don't be like that, brah.
Right? And I was just like, probably for like 7 or 8 minutes, just staring, because I didn't want to put it down. What if that made the spider move? Well, I didn't want to hold it forever, because there's a spider there. I didn't want to drink the water, because I don't eat spiders. So like, where do I go with this thing? Do I show it to friends? What do I do?
Hey guys, look at this.
Eventually I put it down. The spider was just cool, and I just sort of like I don't remember how I did. I don't remember what happened after that, to be honest. I was just like blacking out how like fucking frightened I was, and I shouldn't have been. It's just a spider. It's fine. But at the same time, it was so most in my mouth.
It's not just spider, it's surprise spider.
Yeah.
And it's up close surprise spider.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I nearly ate something.
Like, was he in the cup the whole time?
Although it's really although it's a really funny mental image, I really just, it would have been almost understandable if the first thing your reaction was to just go, I will consume, because then it will disappear.
This will get rid of the problem.
Yeah, this will get rid of the problem quickly. Like,
Spider's like, no, he called my bluff.
Yeah. Oh man. But yeah, I remember that shit forever. It's just like, what do I do? Like, was he like on the ceiling coming down and then just happened to land on my water, or was he in the mug and just sort of like got scooped up by the water and was so light that he floated above the water? Was he like, oh god, I'm covered with water? You know? Yeah. Yeah, that's your story. It's for you. Man.
Oh yeah. So I suppose we'd probably time to get onto the actual. We've been
videodroming on for so long.
Oh,
it's time to get to the new flesh. I don't know.
Oh man.
Yep.
But yeah, I suppose shall we crack on with the actual the film then, or
as in you should answer for your crimes of making us watch this movie?
Hey, this is a good movie. This is good shit.
After like the first 20 minutes, it's okay. The first 20 minutes, I was like, what the fuck is Matt into? Because it starts out with like all this like, okay, here's some just blunt, here's some torture, and here's some porn, here's some more porn, and then hey, it's Debbie Harry, right? Blondie?
Yes.
Debbie Harry.
Yeah. Here's Blondie. I'm like, hey, cool. I know her. I like her music, sort of. I've never owned any of her CDs, but the hits I enjoy. And then now it's like that mixed with torture and more porn. I'm like, well, no, I don't want to see this movie. But that dries up pretty quick, and then it gets into an actual like dark thriller, which is much easier to watch. So. Yeah,
it does. I mean, it's good, because it doesn't dwell. Because once we know what type of stuff that what the content of the Videodrome tapes are, it's smart enough that Cronenberg knows doesn't need to keep showing it. Like you keep seeing like clips, because people are watching. That's the whole point, is to show that people are watching it and he's watching it and he's still watching it. But that's it. It doesn't just become about it. It doesn't just become torture porn essentially, because it's just like, look, this is what's on the tape, but the rest of the movie is the important bit.
Yeah.
What it does to him and the hallucinations, that's the important bit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm trying to think the first time I saw this. I think I knew about it when I was young, because I have vivid memories of when they did like a special on it it must have been like the anniversary of it, like 10-year anniversary or whatever, on TV. Maybe in the 90s, I'm not sure, but I was maybe vividly seeing that moment when James Woods is he's like laying in the corner of the hallway, and he's got the gun in his hand and his shirt's open. I just always remember that, and there's like blood coming out of his hand for reasons we'll get to, and I always remember that, and I always really wanted to see it, and for some reason I just never watched it. And then it was when I was at uni, and it was on Netflix at the time. It was at the time when Netflix had like RoboCop 1 and 2, so I got like a free month of Netflix to watch some stuff I really loved, and it was on there, and I think it was one weekend when I wasn't doing anything, so I just sat down and watched it. I thought it was one of the strangest things I'd ever seen.
It's definitely in the top like 3 strangest things I've ever seen.
It's really memorable as well, really memorable. But because I was familiar with Cronenberg before, because I'd watched The Fly, which is really, really good. I watched that when I was a lot younger, because obviously, why wouldn't I watch a really violent horror movie like The Fly?
I think it's required preschool viewing here in America.
But I love The Fly, and I think that still holds up well. And I'd watched another one of his films that was it was incidentally, and this is why I remember it so well, because it's a good movie, but it was a double bill on BBC Two back in the day. It was a double bill of, it's a film called Shivers, which Cronenberg made in 1975, called Shivers. It was on double bill. It was that and Dawn of the Dead, and that was the first time I ever watched Dawn of the Dead. Because my mum recorded Dawn of the Dead for me, because I think at that point, I'd played Resident Evil 2 by that point. I was like, wow, zombies are awesome. And then Dawn of the Dead was on. No, sorry, I watched Dawn of the Dead first, and then I played Resident Evil 2, and was like, this is so cool. And then I watched Zombie Flesh Eaters, and blah, 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 blah. But, yeah, she recorded Dawn of the Dead for me, because she knew I'd love it. And Shivers was on before it, like the films were literally back to back. No breaks. There was no like news breaks in between or anything. They don't really do anything like that anymore. But
no,
it was
back
back
in
to
the day.
back.
That was awesome because you could just get a tape, stick it on long play, and record like 2 movies.
But yeah, I remember Shivers, and it's a really bizarre. I'm trying to think. It's not really a body snatchers movie. It's about like parasites that infect you. They get into your body, and then and it gets like really sexual. Like, everyone goes like there's like weird orgies and stuff where this thing just like puts your sex drive up like maximum, and you like become, it's uncontrollable basically. Like you just give in. It like really messes with you, and it's all set in like this. I think it's either a hotel, like an apartment complex. But yeah, it's really good. But I always remember that vividly. So yeah, I'd already been well versed with some of Cronenberg's work, so I knew I had like an idea of how messed up it was going to be.
Yeah, yeah. Those are certainly running themes through quite a lot of his movies. Kind of like body horror.
Yeah,
sexual imagery.
Yeah, I think he's one of the kings of body horror, in the sense that he really gets it. He really gets how because good body horror should make you feel uncomfortable at times, because there's nothing scarier than your body doing something that you can't control.
Yeah.
That's why The Fly is so effective, because he feels fine, and then his body starts to almost fall apart and decay, and there's literally nothing he can do to stop it. And that's frightening, that the idea I think it was on a Red Letter Media stream, actually, and Jay was on there, and he was saying about how body horror really freaks him out. That's why he likes it, because he said there's nothing scarier than your body just deciding, cancer.
Yeah.
You die now. He said there's nothing. He said that terrifies me. The fact that my body can just decide to kill itself. He's like, that's terrifying. There's nothing you can't stop it. But yeah, I think Cronenberg's like one of the kings of the body horror genre, because it just gets it, and yeah, it's always very kind of sexual as well. Although a lot of people are convinced that The Fly is all about. It was like, the subtext was all like regarding the AIDS epidemic at the time, because of when it came out, and because it's like he's dying, and and people are like, oh, it's like having AIDS because your body's falling apart and like turning on itself, and he just said, no, it's just disease in general.
Yeah, I was gonna say that like,
like
AIDS isn't the only one that'll make your body do that.
Yeah, he was like,
why can't you people see? This one is about weird psychosexual stuff. That one is just like.
Yeah, he's like,
it's just Dr. Malcolm going blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
But yeah. So anyway, yeah. I'd known about David Cronenberg's work. So although I just recently discovered that he directed the Dead Zone, starring Christopher Walken. So I need to watch that again.
I need to watch that again, because it's been a long time.
I remember it being quite good. But yeah. So I watched it and I really enjoyed it. But I think it was last year, I got our good friends at Arrowhead Video, who did that wonderful release of Zombie Flesh Eaters, did a special edition for the anniversary of Videodrome, and it's this beautiful box set with the movie, some shorts by David Cronenberg, some of his early like shorts, and like a really nice art book. And so yeah, it's gorgeous. They released a special edition of The Thing recently as well, and that's, again, all the Arrowhead stuff, like even the real schlocky stuff, they put so much love and care into. But yeah, so I wanted an excuse to watch it again, so that's why I picked it. But yeah, I'm not sure how to.
Oh,
really
just
talk
as
about
an
the
aside,
movie.
before you start on that, I just want to say, it looks like Arrowhead have been doing quite a lot of his Blu-rays, and I have the one of. Rabid. I don't know if you've seen Rabid or
Rabid, yes.
Which is also a David Cronenberg, but yeah, that's also an Arrowhead Video one as well. So
yeah, they've just obviously got all the rights to release this stuff, and they put so much care into it.
And I love the art, because we were talking earlier about physical boxes. I'm a physical box person, so it looks really, they all look really pretty. I mean, the Zombie Flesh Eaters is great. The artwork on it.
Oh yeah, it's brilliant. The same they did the Big Trouble in Little China released as well, and that's really nice. It's like a nice steelbook.
Well,
But I don't think I've seen Rabid. Is Rabid the one with the woman who?
Yes, I was saying to Chris
Yes,
before the
yes,
cast,
yes.
it's basically the opposite of this one, where kind of everyone has got tummy vaginas. Rabid is kind of, she's got an arm penis instead.
Okay.
That's a way to kill a conversation.
He loves his weird stuff, doesn't he? I will say
It's kind of a zombie movie. I
Yeah.
would have paired that more with Dawn of the Dead than say Shivers.
than
but-
Shivers, yeah. One thing as well, like I've noticed in a lot of his filmography, he in a lot of his films, Howard Shore did the music. Obviously, Howard Shore is famous for doing the wonderful soundtrack to the Lord of the Rings films. He did The Fly, he did Videodrome. I think he's done most of his films, I think. Like, once they started working together, he just got Howard Shore doing scoring most of his movies. So, yeah, the man's good, he knows what he's doing. So, but anyway, I'm beating around the bush because I'm trying to figure a way to to actually enter it. But I think, yeah, we were talking about this earlier because we watched it, and it's kind of almost like because it came out in the 80s. It's almost like a preview into how our current world is, because in the film they mention at times, how people becoming or could become desensitized to violence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's kind of true now. How it's
Yeah.
like, because we were watching it and it's like, wow, like the softcore stuff they're putting on, like, well, you can't put that on TV. Like, that's so like casual now in comparison to the shit we have on regular TV. I mean, obviously, like, Videodrome is genuine stuff, so you're never gonna have that on network television. But yeah, because Deborah Harry says about, people are gonna go further and further for satisfaction, and it's just gonna get worse and worse. And that's the whole thing with Videodrome itself, is that you watch it and then you have to watch more and more and more because you become almost insatiable for it. But I suppose
it's consuming.
it's like almost the paranoia as well of the violence in movies and like the video nasties. It's almost like that, well, we can't because people are going to go crazy and start murdering each other. And basically because I was looking at the trivia, and all the major characters at one point appear on TVs. Like, they have a scene where they're on a TV, and it's almost like people are starting to interact more with their TVs than they are with each other, which is kind of true now, when a lot of people just talk to each other on Facebook and stuff. Some people don't have as much. I mean, there are some people that they'll meet up and then just look at their phones all day.
Yeah, that is true, and that is annoying. But like in my friend circle, we downplay that as much as possible. So like it's not like an inescapable like future.
Oh, no,
it's
I'm
just
saying everyone.
Yeah, like when we all get together, I'll have my phone and I'll put it upside down, like on the table. And I'll check it occasionally because, I mean, I do have messages, but I just have my notifications turned off all across the board, so I don't get any vibrate, no ringtone, nothing. And I just look at it because, I mean, if nothing else, I have a fiance who lives in the Philippines, and I kind of want to know what she's up to.
I use it to check the time. So
yeah, I mean, now you can get a watch that attaches to your phone through Bluetooth, and then you can find out what time it is. Or you can
spend money on that.
Yeah. For like $50 a month, you could have your own smartwatch. I don't know. I'm just saying. So it's not as bad as that, but it does. Videodrome does present that idea in the '80s when that was something far more certain. As VHS started becoming more proliferate. I mean, like the thing is, VCRs were really expensive back then. And VCR tapes, of course, were really expensive. So like it's kind of like having the internet when you would get a VCR tape and put it in, just like watch whatever it is, and everything you watch would be super valuable because you can't just like go and like get 70 movies for $20 at a store or something anymore. You have to like spend $20 on a movie, and you would watch it and you'd watch it and you'd watch it, and it'd just be so cool and so new.
It was certainly less throwaway.
Yeah,
that more investment, time and money.
And so when you're watching these kinds of things and you've seen something already, it's like now you need to see more. It's kind of like I recently watched The Prestige with Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale.
Oh yeah.
Great movie.
Yeah, it's Christopher Nolan, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's Christopher Nolan movie. Yeah, it's also got David Bowie in there. So that's kind of nice. Give it a twist of class. It's almost a horror movie,
awesome.
but it's not actually a horror movie. It's more of a drama, but whatever. And the thing is that, shit, I lost myself again. Oh no, that's right. They're magicians. That's right. And like they'll do simple tricks, and then people get tired of the simple tricks, and then they have to do more and more advanced tricks, like the bullet catch, and then eventually the disappearing man trick, and all that kind of stuff. It becomes harder to do, and it's similar with TV. It's similar with the internet. It's similar with everything we do, because we do get desensitized. But the other thing that kind of sets that back is the fact that no one lives forever. So like the youth have to get introduced to whatever it is, and they'll get introduced to it, whatever it is that they're getting introduced to at certain levels, and then they'll find their own little media journey, and then they'll pass on, and then their kids will do the same thing. So I guess it kind of is more like a tidal wave, like a wave that crashes on the beach and comes back, crashes on the beach, comes back, and we don't get much worse, but there are things on Reddit you shouldn't look at. I'll just say that.
And the stuff in Videodrome, like the stuff he's watching on those tapes, you should. I just love how he just refuses to believe that it's
that
snuff.
it's real.
The second you see it, it's like, mate, I'm pretty sure it's snuff.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
That's
they're
true.
They're never on the same show the next week. Like, there's a reason why.
Yeah, and that's true as well in our culture, because there's lots of things I see on Facebook or Reddit that I'm like, that was staged, and some of it is staged. I mean, you'd have to, because you have to recognize the fact that under all circumstances of video, someone is holding a camera.
Yeah,
and it takes a while to load up the video camera on anyone's cell phone. So unless you're just really quick on the draw, chances are pretty good that you have people in front of you doing a thing, and then you're recording it so you can get karma on Reddit.
Well, that's why the genuine ones, you notice that when you watch the video, it's already like part way through the confrontation or something, because people have had to take the phone out to start recording it.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's like the escalation factor. Also, like, I know it's like skipping ahead, but there's this whole idea of there's one character in particular which we'll cover, like, it's the immortalization of recording yourself. And again, it's like you look at like YouTubers, like there's stuff on there that will probably be online to be viewed forever and long after the person's dead. And it is almost like it sort of is a form of immortality, I suppose.
It's already happening with those holographic presentations of Tupac and stuff.
Yeah.
They own your soul now. They own your essence. What made you?
Exactly.
And they can tour every night of the year in multiple places and not get tired.
And also, like, because with that character, it's even told to the main character in the video, and it says how he wasn't afraid to let go of his physical body because he knew he'd live on through these tapes. Because it's it's not even VHS, it's Betamax, isn't it? They use Betamax tapes.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, I was reading the trivia page says that they used them because they were smaller, so they looked like they could fit into his tummy better.
Yeah, which if you haven't seen the movie and you've just heard Tom say the words "fitting a Betamax tape into his stomach," then don't worry, we'll it all makes sense.
No, it doesn't make sense.
There's James Woods plays Max Wren, which is a really cool name. He should be like a detective with that name. I think he's like a co-president with two other people of Civic TV, which is a Toronto-based television station. And you know that they're not a massive network, so because of that, they purposely put on very sensational. It's very sensationalistic, like very taboo, almost taboo, like with softcore porn or gratuitous violence, just because that they've got a small viewer base, so they need to give and he even says that he goes on a talk show and says, we haven't got that much. We don't have that many viewers. So
they don't have that much influence to really make everything worse. Like they're trying to say it'll happen.
Yeah, and also to get viewers, they need to put up stuff that the other networks aren't showing, which makes sense and is actually the direct influence that David Cronenberg, because he wrote this as well. The direct influence he got was there was an actual station in Toronto called City TV that did something similar, where they would show like kind of softcore porn and more violent movies than that, and the president's reasoning was pretty much the same as Max Rennie in the film. He's like, look, we need to get the viewers somehow.
Yeah.
You know, we're small. We need to get people watching our station so we can get money.
They're attacking a niche market. So
yeah, and you know, people want to watch it, so we're just giving them giving them the means to do it. But
yeah,
so
I feel like he must have been doing this a while to become like, you know, an edgelord who's like, oh yeah, this is not hard enough for me. I need, you know, the real shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but and
I'm
I
gonna
like that
smoke
because,
cigarettes and say, yeah, no,
well,
it's
I
not
love it.
tough enough.
because he's we're introduced him at the beginning where he's watching. He goes, it's like a Japanese, I think it is a Japanese softcore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's looking for stuff to put on his network, and it's quite seedy. You know, some people think it's seedy. I mean, the Japanese one is particularly, it's too classy. I think. Was it one of
His
his
partners?
co-workers
Yeah.
says it says like it's too classy and that makes it boring.
Yeah.
But when they're all watching it and it gets across the desensitization, sorry, because they're just sitting there watching softcore porn, just like very very businesslike, like they're very like, you know, we could put it on. I mean, that looks alright, you know, and it's just another videotape to them.
Yeah.
So because of this, and it's a wonderful way of very subtly showing the main character that he wants to get something, he wants to get the next thing that's going to really bring in the viewers, without him really saying it. Like, you know how you get really bad expositions, like, damn, you know, I've been looking for that next thing for 2 years now, since 1981, on this day, May the 17th. You know, there's nothing like that. He just, it feels very natural.
It does. I will say that you definitely do get a sense of his kind of character and how he's, you know, he is kind of chasing the next thing, and
I think his performance the whole film is that's one thing Gentle's always been very good at, is he's a very good natural actor where he acts, his characters always act like a real person, like he stumbles over his words, and there's a moment later on where he says that he goes to offer the guy coffee and goes, oh no, don't worry about it, I'll see you later, and it's very believable and grounded, and that's how people talk.
Yeah, sometimes.
Like, you would go, it's like no, yeah, I'll do it. Like, you know, you would, people do stumble over words, but he's very very natural in this, and I do genuinely believe that he's doing it because he wants to make money. He wants the network to make money.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only reason you do that kind of stuff anyway, is to make money.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the sad part of like capitalist society, is that you have to find a market and then you have to feed the market, and unfortunately, that's the market he chose, or at least for this movie's circumstances, he chose that. I don't know. It's sort of weird because like I know that there's a market for that, but like I just can't imagine it being like, people wouldn't tell people they were watching that television show.
Yeah,
you know,
because I think I get the idea that it's like kind of like almost a subsect. It's like almost underground because of the way he gets some of the other tapes as well. Like there's is it Marsha? I think her name is the foreign lady who has like the really classy porn, that softcore stuff, and it's you get this idea of like there's almost like an underground society of softcore viewers.
Yeah,
in the sense where it's like it's all kind of, everyone like kind of passes it around, it's all hush hush. But yeah, so he's like desperately looking for the next big thing, and he works with, I think he's someone who works at the station. He pirates stuff from other countries. He's got like that big satellite dish on the roof, and he's got like a few seconds, like about 10-15 seconds of unscrambled footage of something called Videodrome, which you believe, I think, they think it's from Malaysia, don't they? I think it's from Malaysia.
Yeah, from Malaysia.
And it's just like basically torture. It looks like torture and murder, and the whole time, like, and he's so naive. He's like, wow, these performances are really good. Like, I mean, I just wondered how they get people to look so scared. I just sat there. That was the first time I saw it, and sat there thinking, Max, it's because they're really killing these people.
Yeah, it's that terrible.
But I mean, I've always, the one thing that stood me after I watched it was the room, the actual room where Videodrome is shot. Just because it's just that dark, not even dark, it's like that deep red.
Yeah, deep red
room, and it's the clay in the background as well. It just looks so. There's almost something kind of dreamlike about it. Like, you wouldn't really...
Yeah.
Why would you set up a room to look like that? It's weird.
And what I thought was really neat, I mean, it's skipping ahead a tiny bit, but there's that shot where after him and Debbie Harry have had sex, where it's pulling out, and at first you think they're just normally on the bed that they were on before.
Yeah.
But it actually turns out to be the room from the video.
Yeah, and
it was just kind of like, whoa, okay, that's a bit freaky.
Yeah, there's something, like, strangely unsettling about the room itself as well. I always found like the room just looks, it doesn't look right. Like, why would you have like an S&M dungeon like that? That's not a nice, that colour walls.
The other question is, why would you have an S&M dungeon?
Why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you?
Well, no, if you've made the decision to have one, surely it should be of the utmost taste.
It should be a warm colour like blue.
Yeah, blue. With like waterfall like built into the S&M dungeon, just to make a relaxing atmosphere for the S&M that you're about to do. All the S&Ming you're going to perform today.
The S&Ming. That's the sequel, the S&M. But
S&M's.
S&M's. That's a whole line that would get Nestle on the phone.
Nestle on the phone. We have a whole new M&M mascot for you. Here, wear the black leather and the zipper mouth.
Yeah, we've got really interesting ideas about how you can market your latest confectionery.
Yeah, like the zipper
call
could
me.
be candy, it'd be really nice. But yeah, so he's introduced to Videodrome, and he almost straight away becomes obsessed with it.
Yeah.
Because he's just like, wow, this could be, because he thinks this is going to be the next thing for his station.
Yeah.
He thinks he's finally found it.
Like, that was one of the problems I had with this movie, though, is that the first 20 minutes earlier I had said that it was like, what the hell's going on? But also, like, not just because of the weird, like, softcore stuff, but also, like, I have no idea why I'm watching this movie 20 minutes in. I have no idea what's going on. Like, you're following Max Wren, and he's like, yeah, I have a TV station, yeah, I put on this stuff. I don't care. As a viewer, I don't care. Like, all right, that's cool. It's almost like if you have a creepy uncle on Thanksgiving telling you about some shit he's done that you don't want to hear about, but you have to sit there and listen to them because it's Thanksgiving, and goddammit, the family's together for one time a year, and you don't want to be the guy who ruins Thanksgiving, so you're holding on to it. You guys don't know anything about Thanksgiving. Do you guys have Thanksgiving over there at all? Anything like that? Why would you? Anyway. I'm sorry. That's a bad metaphor then. Anyway, family gathering of some kind. And then, like, 20 minutes into the story, you're just like, Videodrome? What are you talking about? And then, like, through the rest of the movie, you really don't know what Videodrome is. Like, they're never, like, the noun that is Videodrome. They don't have an adjective that is Videodrome. It's just like, these are movies, and it'll fuck you up. That's Videodrome. And it's like, well, how does it fuck you up? Doesn't matter. It will fuck you up. That's Videodrome. Or like that weird mission chapel they have, where like they have the graffitied construction materials put together into such that there's cubicles, so people can like watch shitty looping fuzzy TV channels.
And it's violence, and when you notice as well, they're watching really violent stuff as well.
Are they? Because I couldn't tell. Like, a lot of the things were like flipping, or some things were like too snowy, or something like that. And yeah, I couldn't really tell what was on those TVs.
Well, it's either violent or like weird things. Like there's the one guy James was like looks over and he's watching open heart surgery.
Is that what that was?
Like,
okay.
It's like, why are you watching that? And he just smiles at him.
Yeah.
And that's
this is good for me.
No, man, it's the next best thing. It's like totally hip and
yeah.
Like it's on the cutting edge. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's so now. And
it's trendy.
So much tougher and rougher than anything else.
Yeah.
Well, obviously.
But yeah, I thought that was really strange. Like, the whole movie feels like you're watching a metaphor. It doesn't really feel like you're watching an actual day-to-day account of somebody's life, like in a story. It just feels like everything. And of course, he's hallucinating.
Yeah.
What?
And there's one thing I will say is that you're with him every step of the way in terms of the hallucinations, because you get this idea he's losing sense of time, and you kind of lose sense of time. You don't know like how long it's been since he started watching. You don't know, and as soon as you get about halfway through the movie, you start to question what actually is real anymore. And there's probably a lot of people that think that as soon as he puts on the device to record his hallucination.
Yeah.
That maybe everything after that is part of his hallucination, which it could be. Which is fun. It's good that every time I watch it, the film makes me question that. I'm like, oh, maybe not.
Well,
or maybe it is.
Like the movie actually states that Debbie Harry's character dies 11 months prior to the events of the movie.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So the fact that he met her at all is a hallucination, which is what kind of undoes most of the movie, as Tom might want to tell you just now. Yeah.
Well, it's hard to tell, like it must get its hooks in him like immediately for that to happen, because all the hallucinations are like, they're supposed to get weirder and stronger, but I can't imagine, like, the perfect hallucination is the one he has where she shows up.
Yeah.
And they bang.
Yeah.
And then he pierces her ears because, it's like, that's his hobby, I guess.
Yeah, that's fun.
That made me so uncomfortable. I was like,
Yeah, because like a lot of the movie, you don't know what's happening, because for me, it's the first time I've ever seen the movie. So that's why like the first 20 minutes was so uncomfortable. It's like, how much further does this go? Traditional movies start small and get large. So it's like, okay, he's piercing her ears now. What's going to happen later on in the movie? Do I even really want to watch this? Do we have to stop Matt from choosing movies ever again?
Hey.
Fortunately, I mean, that's it. That's basically it. There's whipping and the ear piercing, and that's basically it. Everything else is just weirdo body horror stuff.
Oh, no, you're forgetting what you do when you haven't got an ashtray.
You know what? I don't even count that. Hugh Jackman does it as Wolverine in an X-Men movie. Who cares? Not his breast. He puts it on his hand. But
Chris, no. You've been desensitized by Videodrome.
No!
The movie was telling the truth.
Yeah, and now I am Videodrome. Now Chris was Videodrome.
Long live the new flesh.
Everything is Videodrome.
Yeah, let's change our podcast name to The New Flesh. Not spoilers of The New Flesh, simply The New Flesh. But yeah, so like I was watching this movie and it's like, it's going to get much, much worse than this. Why would I ever want to watch this movie? And I kind of forgot my point again. God dang it.
We were talking about the hallucinations.
Oh yeah, the hallucinations. Yeah, thank you. So like, he was in the room having sex with a hallucination. So was James Woods just beating off onto his own floor?
No, I actually, no, I think
that's why the gun's stuck to
I'm pretty sure she's alive at that point, because she tells him she's going to Pittsburgh to audition for her.
Sure, she tells him that, but
I thought they said that she they sent her to him as bait.
Yeah, they both said that she is dead 11 months ago, and they sent her to him as bait.
Because he introduces her to Videodrome, not the other way around.
Yeah.
So it's really confusing.
Plus,
she's.
Plus, there's no sense of time in the movie.
But Debbie Harry was dead all along.
Yeah, Sixth Sense.
She was in the boot of the car.
I don't remember that. I don't remember them saying to him that she's been dead for 11 months. I remember her telling him she's going to Pittsburgh to audition for her.
Yeah, that
after he's
that definitely happened. That did happen.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's okay then. Because that's after they've had sex.
Yeah.
Sorry, I misunderstood you both.
But
I misunderstood both of you. That's fine. That's okay. I thought you were saying that she was dead at the start of the movie.
Oh, well, I am saying that, actually, but that also depends on how long the movie's storyline is. Like, if there's an 11-month period...
we don't know that gap of time.
Right. I mean, it's a very sleepy movie, so... and not sleepy as in boring, but, like, you don't really know what time it is all the time. So if he had met her in real life, then it was 11 months prior to some of the events in the movie, but you don't get that time... space at all. You don't really get that time. What am I trying to say? You don't the way the time spends or whatever. You don't really get that at all in the movie. But they do say that they sent her to him, and they do say that she was dead after she said she went to Pittsburgh. But that must have been 11 months from that point on until he met. You know what I'm saying? Like, she said she went to Pittsburgh. 11 months later is the rest of the movie. But I mean, I guess they couldn't.
Oh, right, that's okay. I thought you were saying.
I'm confused.
Because she's definitely alive at the start of the movie, because that's when he meets her.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
As soon as she leaves to Pittsburgh,
that makes more sense. Yeah, the thing that me and Chris were kind of confused about was we thought because she is revealed to have been dead for a time of 11 months.
Yeah.
That the original, like, she must have been killed by Videodrome and then sent as a hallucination to him, and that's where we were confused.
Yeah, maybe the hallucination was sent to him in the videotapes, period, but not like...
There we go, yeah, that's right.
But not like... Because otherwise the movie doesn't make any sense at all. But like I was saying, I don't really get the idea of when time is spent in the movie. So like... Was she dead 11 months prior to the beginning of Videodrome, the movie The Videodrome, or was she dead at the point where after she goes to Pittsburgh to audition for Videodrome, and from that point on it's 11 months, and we're just watching scenes or events that happened during that 11-month period?
I think it's the second. It's the second one.
That's the only way it makes sense.
Yeah, because I think that's to play into the surrealist nature of it, where he's just losing.
Yeah.
Like, everything's just going past so quick because it's so fucking insane.
Yeah, and I was thinking, even if I was mistaken with the 11 months thing, I have heard the word 11 and a time period. Even if it was 11 hours, 11 days, 11 weeks, it would still be...
11 weeks.
You know what I'm saying? It would still be, like, too long.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's a strange movie.
It really is, and I love it. But yeah, I think he's well, I mean, we all know he's doomed the second he starts watching it, really.
It's kind of like The Ring in that way.
No.
Yeah. Don't watch the movie, and then 11 months later you'll die.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like, as soon as he watches the tape, he gets drawn to it, and the more he watches it, the worse the hallucinations get as well.
Yeah.
He sees some weird shit as well. Like, there's the one of my favorite moments is when I think it's his assistant comes in because she's worried about him, and he just slaps her twice.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Whoa, dude, what the hell?" And then she's like, "Hey, what's wrong, Max? Are you all right?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I hit you." The fuck are you talking about, man? You didn't hit me.
Did you notice that the second slap was Debbie Harry, though?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was cool.
Yeah.
When we were watching it, this is actually going back to the colour of the Videodrome room itself as well. My girlfriend said that there's a lot of red in almost every scene of the movie. There's strong reds. And even Debbie Harry's dress is very red.
She's dyed her hair red as well.
Yes, she did. She
specifically for this movie.
Yeah, she did. She dyed her hair specifically for it. And I just remind as well that there are vaginas everywhere as well in the movie. So
yeah,
that's very true.
That's very true.
Strange stomach vaginas.
Yeah, like the thing is, you can only barely talk about the plot of the movie because the plot itself is such like a big old mud puddle of events.
Yeah,
that it's really hard to like put in sequential order to make any sense because it doesn't make sense anyway.
Yeah, it's definitely a visually important movie where you just have to get to fully appreciate it, whether you like it or not. You've really got to watch it just because of the imagery.
Yeah.
Just talking about even any synopsis, I don't think will really do it justice.
No. Just
because it's the surreal body horror that we see. Because when you say to someone, well, James Woods keeps watching it, he gets a rash on his stomach, and then he looks down, he's got like a vagina in his stomach that he puts a gun into.
I was telling Tom earlier before the podcast started that I refuse to acknowledge it as a vagina. I just prefer to call it like a hole in his chest because it just looks like a hole in his chest, and I don't want to see that as anything else. It sort of like ruins the moment. Yeah, but I know what it is. Stop it.
I mean, how do you? I'd love to know the scripting parts. Like, so they're getting ready to shoot the scene, and David Cronenberg's like talking to James. He goes, "Well, James, in this scene, it appears in your stomach again, okay, and then Harlan over here puts a videotape tape inside you." He what? Yeah, he sticks a videotape right inside you, right inside. It's his arm all the way in there.
Yeah, all the way there.
Like, strange guy, David. You know that? That's good. Right, we're ready to go.
Yeah, that's the funny thing about money, because there's no way this movie would have been made except for like in an insane asylum of some kind, and then without people being paid for it. That's what I'm trying to say. Because like, yeah, sure, I'll do a movie with this director, maybe, and the price tag is good. It can't be that bad. I'll read the script later, and then you sit down and you read the script like, what the fuck am I? What do I got myself into? What is this?
I got a vagina stomach? What is this?
Did I sign that contract? I did. God damn it. I can't legally walk out of here without a huge battle, so I'm...
It's like I've got like a biomechanical gun hand now.
Yeah.
It was great.
Like the thing that really surprised me the most was when the first hole appears, and he's got a gun for no reason. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's because he's paranoid. Maybe I think that might be why.
I mean,
he takes the gun out the first time and kind of looks at it, doesn't he? And then he hides it when she comes
That's
in.
great.
Yeah.
Because he takes it out and then he's looking at it. He's like holding it upside down, and then he moves it again, and then the clip falls out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He presses the clip release.
dork.
There's a button that releases the clip. You press that, and the clip slides out. So it's
And
like
he looks so surprised. He's like, "Ugh."
He's also got the barrel pointed at his face at that point, so I'm glad he didn't press the wrong button. So I did like that scene quite a bit because, if nothing else, I think James Woods was perfectly cast for this movie. By what I saw, like maybe some other person could do it better, but like James Woods' face is really good for all the close-ups they have to do, and he knows how to be normal, like you were saying earlier.
Yeah, really natural.
Really natural, and that's sort of a thing that I could imagine myself having done the first time I started like messing around with a gun. Like, what's this button do anyway? Oh
no!
Oh shit!
Bits are falling off.
Yeah, you put it back together. But like the thing is, Amazon doesn't exist in this movie's time period, so he had to have mail ordered that gun or purchased it like third hand, like through somebody else, and they just like brought it to him and he gave them money. Because it comes in like a black bag with a red zipper, and he opens that up and it's wrapped in brown paper. It's weirdly packaged is what I'm trying to say, and it's like the scene just starts with him opening that, and you have no idea how he got it or why he has it, and then his body eats the gun, and it's like, what happened? Why? What?
That's great because he gets up and he's like, oh, is it another? Oh, I'm hallucinating again. He starts like, oh, maybe I dropped it in the couch.
Yeah, no, the gun is gone. It's in him somehow. So, what?
It comes back.
Yeah, and then it comes back, but it comes back as the gun, but then it also comes back as meat hand gun, like weird meat hand with a bullet with a barrel on it. That's the part that not the part, but one of the parts that just really just throws you off. Like, what did I just saw? You wouldn't have to rewind it and try to figure it out. And then when you realize there's nothing to figure out, I think that's kind of where the movie starts to dip in quality a little bit. But that's just me. I'm a stickler for things making sense, even if they don't make sense. Don't just like throw a scene in front of me and expect me to connect the dots, because if there's no dots to connect, I'm not going to do it. But that's just me.
That's fair enough. I mean, I didn't mind it because I think it's just supposed to play into the fact that because it's a surreal sci-fi horror.
Yeah.
You are questioning what it's like. Is that actually happening, or is that just what's happening? What he thinks is happening?
Yeah.
But is he actually just sitting there holding a normal gun, and does he even have a stomach vagina?
But just like have him talking to Harlan, say, "Hey man, you got a gun I could buy?" That's weird, And then follow with the next scene immediately. Don't have to throw the transaction out there. Just have him ask somebody for a gun so that I can understand that he's looking for a gun for reasons, and then that he has a gun, instead of just being like, "Ta-da, a gun!" Like, it's not his gun, obviously. It's not a gun that he had in the apartment just in case for home defense, because he never even opened it up, obviously. He has no idea what buttons do what. So that's just a small dip as far as the quality goes. But I mean, the rest of the movie is bizarre enough that isn't really even worth it. Yeah, you let it go. This movie's going
thinking
places.
about it. Yeah. I think just thinking about it, because I never even really thought about that until you brought it up. The only thing I can think of is because he keeps talking how he's like, oh, he's tough, because he's talking to Marcia and saying, what, are you saying that the mafia involved? Because, I don't mind about that, they like to play big. And I think it's because, really, he's paranoid that whoever is making Videodrome is going to find out he's pirating it.
Yeah.
I think that might be like, because at that point he thinks that it's like they're involved in like some like gang, like mafia level weird shit. So I'm thinking maybe deep down he's a little bit concerned that people are going to come for him.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, his line of work is quite sleazy.
Yeah, he's
and sort of like he's having that business meeting with the Japanese people in like a really kind of like rundown, horrible hotel place.
Yeah, that place sucked.
I love the fact. I don't know if either of you noticed it, but when the Japanese guy opens the door, the lock snaps off. Like something falls off the door, and they both just look down it, and he just walks in.
I didn't notice that. No.
There's something that, because you hear like a snap and something drop, and he's like, for fuck's sake, I'll just come in. And because you've got it looks horrible, and you just got the guy further down the hall banging on the
people
door,
yelling and stuff. Yeah,
and it's like, oh, this place is great, and it is sleazy as fuck. But yeah, it is a weird movie to really explain to someone who hasn't seen it, I think.
Yeah, and that's
One
why
thing I would say to people is
that's
just
why
watch
I
it.
think that like after a while I was like, I see why Matt likes this movie because the special effects are still really good. Like
They
I
are
was
really
saying
cool.
about like magicians, like in this case, like the special effects feel like a magic trick because of how practical they are, obviously, but also like you can tell how they did it sometimes, but you can't really you don't really let that get in the way of the illusion. Like like a magician would like hide, he does sleight of hand or palms something and then reveals it later, and it's cool. But you let the magic part be fun because you want to have fun. So like when he has when he stuffs the gun in his belly, you can tell like he probably has his real arm behind his back, and they have like a prosthetic that goes from his shoulder into like an actual arm that connects to a hand that connects to something on his belly, because there's not enough space for him to put his hand in that hole and make it look realistic. So they had to create like a whole new arm apparatus entirely, and then he just like shifts his weight to make it look like he's stuffing his gun into his belly, and I thought that was really cool. And then on top of that, when he sees Videodrome and like Debbie Harry's telling him to come to the television, and then he just gets into the screen. But it's not like CGI where he's like thrown into the world of Videodrome. He's like making out with a television screen that's wrapping around his face.
Yeah, that's such a weird visual, isn't it? Just when he's like stuffs his face into it, and it's all like warping around him. And yeah, all they probably did was just probably some kind of like latex that they and then they just projected they project the movie onto the latex, and it works. Looks great.
It works fantastically.
I would say all the effects look really great, considering
when it
this was early 80s as well.
And
not later on.
It cost just under $6 million to make as well. That's not a lot. It's really not. But I even liked like the smaller details, like when his TV starts to like breathe and move. As though it's like she is the TV.
Yeah.
And when he touches it the first time, all the veins appear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, the fuck. Yeah, like all it's like that. I think Mark Kermode dubbed it something, or Brian Usner. He was interviewing Brian Usner, and he dubbed it like plastic reality. And it is like this strange, almost like plastic reality.
Yeah.
I love all the practical effects because obviously they don't look all like, oh yeah, that looks like real life, but they look good. They look really good.
Yeah, they look good
because
enough.
And because the movie's kind of surreal and strange. Anyway, it fits in perfectly. And yeah, the whole stuff of like the breathing TV. The first time I saw it, I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
I even like the look of like the pulsating Betamax tapes as well. Just looked great.
Yeah, the first time you see that, it's just sort of like, whoa, what the fuck? And then it's a normal tape again, and it's like, wow, that was a strange like thing. And they probably had some sort of apparatus going down the arm to like sort of like pump the tape in his hands, which is why he always holds it in one way. They always hold it like lateral to the floor or parallel to the floor. So it's like they probably hide something that does whatever that's supposed to do, because they don't even have green screens at this point. I don't think.
No,
like they can't they can't like tailor the scene to remove any effects. They just have to make it work. And like I said, that I understand now why you like this movie and wanted to see it again, because after the first 20 minutes, the rest of it's sort of a practical effects visual feast that I would rather watch than that other movie we saw, whatever that was called, with the fucking everyone eating zombies and lawnmowers and shit.
Dead Alive.
Thank you, Dead Alive. Yeah, thank you, that one.
Hey, that wasn't my fault.
No, it wasn't. No, I'm not accusing you, and I'm not throwing it in Tom's face. Really, I'm not trying to. I just, as a guy who doesn't like practical effects at all, I am finding this weird, surreal practical effects horror fest that I've been thrust into on the podcast to be more interesting probably than you guys find it, because I'm being new to this stuff. And I can't imagine what it was like to be in the 80s, like living in the 80s, not like time travel back to the 80s, and then watch this movie for the first time. Like, whoa.
Yeah. Like, what the fuck? This is
my
the
God.
weirdest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. And then
It still is, but...
And then it becomes popular enough because you're sharing it with people, because you don't really care about the ear piercing and the torture unless you're a sicko, but you do care about the cool practical effects that happen afterwards. You know, there's a lot of really interesting and fun stuff that happens in here, and it's like, oh wow.
Yeah,
So,
and there is an escalation as well. Like they don't, because a lot of like a lesser film or a lesser filmmaker would blow his load immediately with like a really elaborate effect.
yeah.
Whereas this, like, it keeps building up to more stuff, and the most violent scene isn't until right at the end of the movie.
I think I know which one you're talking about, and that's my favourite
I
bit
love it.
in terms of practical effects.
It's like, that's the David Cronenberg I know.
That gave me a real Total Recall vibes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Now I know what you're talking about.
There were
Yeah.
3 of us watching that, and the other 2, because obviously I was expecting it, was just like, whoa. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, cracks open.
Yeah,
But,
that shit was nuts. If I know what you're talking about, is it when he shoots the guy and the guy falls down and things happen?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I was hoping it wasn't the TV exploding because you said end of the movie, and I was like, oh, okay,
oh, so yeah, there's that as well. That's quite
it's okay.
gory, but
It's well shot.
But yeah, there's a good escalation in all the violence as well, and yeah, I love the effects. And actually, when just getting back to James Woods again, like his reaction, it pulsates. He immediately drops it in surprise, and then just nudges it with his foot.
Yeah.
I think he does it like twice, and picks it up again, looks at it, and then shakes it, like just to be sure.
Yeah.
Okay, it's fine.
Yeah, that was pretty great. Like, that's where James Woods shined in the movie. His reactions to the things. And you know what's great, though, is that it must have been a lot easier for him with all the practical effects being real and things that he can actually see.
Yeah,
You know?
I think that, like, I've when I speak to people about like modern horror and that, and it's like when you just overly rely on CGI, I think it hinders the film, because when you look at stuff like this in The Thing, and these actors had these things to interact with, like they could see it.
Yeah.
And it does help. Like, I know people will say, well, they're an actor, they should use their imagination. That's true, but to actually see it, like, can you imagine what it must have been like? Like you were saying, like the first time, if you're on set for this or like The Thing, you know, say you're at The Thing,
my
you're
God,
Kurt
yeah.
Russell, and the first time you see the animatronic like when it's like moving around with creepy, you'd be like, the fuck is that?
Yeah. Or like when you go in and you see that one scene where they're testing the blood, like each person's blood, and then that one guy just like flips out because he knows he's the Thing, and he just eats the guy next to him, and he's like lifting him up into the air, and all that kind of stuff was really happening in front of all the actors. I can't even imagine. I'd lose my shit for real.
Exactly. Precisely. And it's like, you know, in this as well, like all the really weird stuff that he sees, like when he's looking at his hand after it's like morphed into that strange biomechanical gun, like he can actually look at that and interact with it. I mean, you can tell a lot of it's plastic, but he like pulls down the sleeve, and there's even that little bit of detail where his veins are, and you can just see like the metal running through.
Yeah.
And it's like you can react to it, and that's the whole part of being an actor, is reacting as well.
Yeah. Pretty
It
crazy.
annoys me when you see like behind the scenes stuff, and the director goes, "You see that ball over there? Yeah, that's the monster. And it's the most amazing thing.
It's going to eat you.
It's the most
While you
amazing
stand
thing
in
you've
front
ever
of a
seen."
blue thing.
I think it's one of the Next Generation movies, and he's going, "You see this? You see this thing here? It's the most amazing thing you've ever seen." That's terrible. That gives them nothing to work with. They just go, "Oh, it's amazing." Like, that's boring.
Oh,
It's one-dimensional directing as well. That's just shoddy. But
yeah.
So it's so basically there's another person he wants to talk to as well, Brian Oblivion, which is great.
Doctor, isn't he Doctor, or is it Professor?
I think it might be Professor, actually.
Yeah, Professor Brian Oblivion. Yeah,
and he's talking. I only communicate with people through video cassettes and TVs now, because that is the eye into the soul, and that is the next step. Blah blah blah.
Yeah,
and he says something really interesting. That is it's kind of you know, makes sense now as well, when he's saying like, well, obviously I wasn't born Brian Oblivion. He like says his real name. He's like, but that is the name I have given myself for this medium. And he's like, one day everyone will give themselves their own names. And I just sat there thinking, online IDs. It's like online handles.
Yeah.
What's your online name?
That's a really good point.
What's your name on Steam? What's your name on this? It's like, shit. It's kind of that. Wow, that's weird.
Yeah, I thought that was really great too, actually. Like, there was a lot of points where I was thinking, we're kind of there now. I mean, not nearly as bad as they would make it out to be. It's all just innocent fun at this point. And honestly, if you take gang culture into account, people have been doing that even in the 80s. like my name is 2 Chains or something like that.
2 Chains.
Or Dookie Shoes or whatever the hell they want to call themselves. I took that from a comedian. I can't remember his name, but if you ever hear that, you'll know that's where I got it.
Oh man, it's Dookie Shoes. Get out of here.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So like, and I mean, it's not a dig on gang culture. That's actually what people would name themselves on the internet anyway.
Oh yeah.
I mean, some of the most classic online names I've heard before are Urinal Cake Baker. That was the guy's name. And that makes me laugh to this day, because I can't imagine a baker making those little pink urinal cakes.
Why do you people keep putting them in the toilet?
They are for eating. They're delicious. I spent all night working on these.
Why you not eat them?
Yeah.
Because they blue?
Because they blue? Pink? He's making all different colors. Green? Which color do you like? Purple? You know what I'm saying? That kind of stuff.
Resigns himself.
That's what people make. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
So it's he just resigns himself to the fact that it's they keep buying them.
Yeah,
I'm making money.
At least there's a market.
They literally buy my cakes to piss on.
I know it. Sure, they're no good, but
yeah, sure they're no good.
Turned into Dracula, and that was weird. Why not buy them?
Yeah. Count the urinal cakes. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I love the count, but yeah, so it all
Brian
starts
Oblivion,
to
we were talking about him.
That's it. So he tries to meet Brian Oblivion, who, I mean, the first time you see it, you just think he's some pretentious bastard who it's he only communicates to you through VHS or through Betamax. You're like, you prick.
Yeah.
Then you find out, well, he was. That's it, because you find out not only is he dead, but there's that wonderful moment where his response that he sends to him, you find out he was the Videodrome's first victim.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And that's when you find out that James Woods is a little boned, because the signals within the broadcast create a tumour in your brain.
Yeah.
Which in the movie does kind of explain the hallucinations.
So it makes me wonder if he ever actually managed to get his revenge, or if that was all just some kind of trippy fever dream.
Yeah, it's like it's like the could have been. Yeah, it's like the fan theory in Minority Report that once, because I think there's a scene where they do capture Tom Cruise, and they go to put him into the coma-inducing machine, and while he's about to go in, the security guard says you see really weird things when you're in there, and suddenly his ex-wife breaks him out and everything turns out really peachy for him, and people have speculated that maybe the rest of the movie is just all in his head. It's like some strange coma-induced dream, which you could say the same thing about this. It's like Total Recall, the entirety of that movie.
I was going to mention Total Recall actually, again, because of that whole, is he just having his moment in the machine, while he's having his vacation.
Yeah,
because you never see James Woods take the device off his head either.
That's true.
He puts it on. The guy leaves. He has a hallucination of Nikki, like Debbie Harry. She walks in, and then suddenly he's in the Videodrome room. Starts whipping her as the TV, which then morphs into Marsha, and then he wakes up in bed. So
with Marsha,
take it off.
With Marsha,
yes,
dead Marsha.
With Marsha, but yeah, so he finds out that he's developing a brain tumor, which makes sense because for a while after he's watched Videodrome, he keeps rubbing his head almost like he's in some discomfort, and he looks pained a lot of the time as well, for the rest of the movie, and it just gets even stranger. Yeah.
It's one of those things where you start getting exhausted talking about it.
It's we can only really lightly touch upon everything that happens because it is something that even if you're remotely interested, you should watch, just because visually it's a movie that you just have to watch. Because there's some films where if the plot's really simple, you can just explain it.
Yeah.
Even good movies like Die Hard. Die Hard is, they're in it's a Christmas party at an office block, in a big tower, terrorists have come in trying to steal stuff, and there's a cop there, and he fights them. Like, that's pretty much the movie. There you go.
Yeah, he fights them and wins. There you go.
Yeah.
Sorry if we spoiled Die Hard for you.
But and it's still fun to watch. Whereas this, it's just you have to.
This is
see
more
it
of a
to
mood
believe it.
piece. You know, I was reading before we started the podcast about how Cronenberg's vision for it was about kind of like introducing video and technology in general as a kind of like a sensory output, or like part of our senses, as well as like sight and sound, and the whole kind of like, you know, him enveloping himself in the TV screen and that kind of thing, you know, all kind of like brings that to the front. So
yeah, exactly, and the because he did something similar with Existence as well in the 90s, which was like all about like video games and like what's reality. Again, it plays upon what's real and what's not, and that's weird as well. That's pretty. Existence is pretty good if you can get past Jude Law being the main character. But it's got
I think enough people can get past that it'll be easy to get past that. Unless he's just a terrible. Right, I mean, who is Jude Law anyway? Isn't he like
exactly?
Exactly.
No,
I mean, I've heard his name. Does he have like blue eyes or something that people keep referring to? Or
I think so. I mean,
so?
he's a perfectly fine
right,
actor, but I've never thought he's good enough to carry a film.
I see what you mean. Yeah, that's actually a legitimate thing to talk about with an actor. Like sometimes, yeah, I know Jude Law. Okay, it's like sometimes you have those people who are hello.
Oh, sorry, you just disappeared there for a second. Can you say the start of your sentence again?
Certainly you have those kinds of actors who can't like carry a full movie, but like do a really good job on the side. People like Steve Buscemi, for example. Yeah, they can't really, like, you don't want a Steve Buscemi starring role because it would just be weird. You recognize him as the weird guy in all the movies you've ever seen him be the weird guy in, like Con Air.
Isn't that like Boardwalk Empire, though? I've not seen it, but isn't he the main guy in that?
I don't know, I haven't seen it either. My point exactly.
No, too weird.
No, Steve Buscemi.
Right, you just have those kinds of people. There's also, I can't remember his name. So I can't really bring it up, but like in the movie Ghost Rider, Nicolas Cage's best friend.
Nicolas the Cage.
Nicolas the Cage. His best friend in that movie, his character's name is Red Fowler, and he's in a lot of movies you've seen, like in Blade. He's the one who's like, I'm gonna be a god, a crazy vampire god, and he gets his hand cut off. That guy.
Oh, Stephen Dorff?
No, it's not Stephen Dorff. Stephen Dorff is the main bad guy in Blade, though. You were not wrong in the movie. It's just Stephen Dorff's lieutenant. the other guy you can't remember. Who couldn't possibly carry on a lead role because of the reasons I'm bringing up right now. Like, you don't remember him, but
yeah, you
remember Stephen Dorff, you remember Wesley Snipes. But I still remember, I see those kinds of characters, and they just no way they would hold their own movie. Yeah. Like Jude Law, I guess, would be one of those people. Though I honestly, like, the only movie I know Jude Law from is some silly rom-com where Cameron Diaz and some British actress switch countries, and they each meet a corresponding love interest. Cameron Diaz meets Jude Law, who has a British accent. Yes, she's in Britain. And then the other lady meets Jack Black. Which is like the best joke of the movie. Jack Black is, he's American, so he's a fat guy, right? So throw him over there.
Oh my god.
He's going to be young Dumbledore in the new
yes, he is,
Harry Potter movie. And yeah, I'm just hoping that, I'm sure he'll nail it, but yeah. I just want him to be able to nail it.
I just think it's so funny, though, that movie. It's like, what? Jack Black? You know? I mean, sure, he's a nice enough guy, but it's just like, to me, as an American, it feels like they chose the person who looked the most American, and they just got Jack Black. Like, I used to look like Jack Black because he used to have his hair and his body size, and then I snatched another body and it looked different, so it's fine now.
And I transferred my memories into someone else.
Yes. But people used to call me Tenacious D.
Swap. Sorry, I was just going to say, it's like an episode of Wife Swap, where like one family, the guy obviously gets like a much better wife. The other one is like,
Right.
oh great, I've got the one that collects everything and has 100 cats.
Has
that kind
100
of thing.
cats. Yeah. So cats are awesome. So whatever. I'll have 100
Oh,
cats.
totally awesome. And if you've got 100, I guess that's 100 times the awesome, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Even though there's like an underlying sadness to having that many cats.
I will buy more.
So
Every inch of the house will be cat. The furniture will be cat.
yeah.
The beds will be cat. Everything will be cat. They will have no floorboards. They will be cat.
And then the house was cat.
Long
The
live the
writhing
new
massive
cats.
cats.
No, wait, don't get new cats.
Yeah.
No.
So
New furniture. Oh,
but yeah, Videodrome.
That's the word.
I'm just gonna
Yeah, we're getting there.
I'm
How
just
far are
gonna
we now?
jump into the
I think-
ending really because
yeah,
like
I'm gonna get straight to it.
there's like you meet Professor Brian Oblivion and his daughter, I think Bianca Oblivion, and there's like
Yeah,
a
she reveals
subplot
that
there
he's-
that doesn't really go anywhere. I don't really like it.
People hint that there's something going on. It's political.
Yeah.
You think there's a reason for the Videodrome was made for a reason, and I think it's because they're paranoid that North America's becoming too soft, whereas the rest of the world is advancing and becoming a bit more harder. Like they're putting up with less shit. It's like, no, North America's too nice, so we're gonna introduce you to torture porn and snuff movies. So you have weird hallucinations and start.
Yeah, but we're
growing
hitting on a
vaginas.
Bye-Bye Man style shit plan here, where you harden everyone up, but yeah, they also die because they have like brain
Don't you-
tumors.
Yeah. Well,
Even
they're still
quote, you
researching the
dare.
problem. They're still researching this. It's an R&D, right? Once it gets out, once it's not a beta anymore and it's the full product, it'll work. I promise.
Well,
We've got
because
a really effective virus that renders everyone dead.
Yeah.
but
Okay,
to be
brilliant.
fair,
Dead
we
but
wanted-
tough.
We wanted yeah,
But to be
we
fair,
wanted people alive.
they are able to then program someone who's been affected by Videodrome. They're able to reprogram them to do what they want and basically turn them into
Oh, I
assassins.
see.
Whereas the
Yeah.
Bye-Bye Man I still don't know what he wanted to do. He's like, I just want to fuck with people.
I don't think we'll ever know.
Coins! You just throw coins like, ah!
Yeah.
That's my thing. Can you imagine him like meeting up with all the other like horror monsters from movies like there's Pinhead, Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, like Freddy Krueger and stuff like that, or even like the ghosts from like Insidious. And they're
I'm
like,
pretty sure we've talked about this before. We kind of said that they go to a high school.
and they're like, "Fuck's-" and he's like, I got coins.
The coins in a flesh
Like-
dog. That feed it. I don't know.
And Freddy Krueger just goes, "Ah, bitch, and just walks off. Michael Myers just goes, you suck. Michael Myers never talks.
Yeah.
Jason Voorhees just runs off crying to his mother.
Yeah.
But
And the Candyman walks over, and usually he's the butt of everyone's joke,
like,
but he
yeah.
kind of goes, "Oh, looks like someone's called the Bye-Bye Man for a reason."
he's like, oh, see, the
Because
claws are
it's like he's
stupid
not getting
anymore.
picked on this time.
And he just like throws bees at him. Like, oh, loser. No, the bees. That's why he's got a messed up face. It's all bee stings. So
Whatever.
that's why the Bye-Bye Man's weird. But
I'm sorry,
so-
I brought up the Bye-Bye Man.
oh, how
Never
dare you.
again. Was it
Dare
don't
you.
speak it, don't think it?
Oh no, you broke the rules.
Yeah.
That made no
Yeah,
sense.
so should I be dead, or killing other people, or telling
Yeah,
them his
or
name, or I don't know.
randomly setting fire to your house, somehow surviving. Just shoot yourself. You know,
Videodrome.
that's how it works.
Yeah, the
Oh
ending
my
of
god, that's
Videodrome.
what happens at the end. He watched Videodrome, but so it turns out that it is all part of some weird plot, and they reprogram Max by inserting a Betamax tape into his stomach slit.
Thank you.
Into his stomach slit, and basically brainwash him to go and kill his co-workers, like the other two heads at Civic TV, and then to assassinate Bianca Oblivion as well because she knows too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He successfully kills his two co-workers, and what I really like about it is that, and this is what they do in films a lot, like this character we've already established doesn't really know how to use a gun properly.
Yeah.
And in this, like, he does not fire efficiently, really, at all. Like, when he first takes a shot at one of his co-workers, he shoots him in the elbow.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, oh, there goes his elbow, and then he like shoots him once in the chest, and he's like, then you get him.
Yeah.
And that always makes me cringe for some reason. Like, oh, the elbow, like it just like his elbow just explodes into a lovely massive blood.
Yeah, but then you can't use your arm anymore. Like, it's disabled.
Yeah, it's like,
you can't even like put a Band-Aid on it and get back to work the next day. It's just gets
like,
destroyed now.
It's like, it just looks horrible. Why the elbow? It's like in films when they shoot someone in the kneecaps, it just makes me cringe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's always like the more humane way to bring a person down in movies is to shoot them in the knees or the legs. But when you think about it, it's like that leg is fucking ruined now. They might as well just amputate and give him a prosthetic at this point.
Yeah, because that knee is shattered to hell.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he successfully assassinates them, and I like the fact that he tries to cover it, going, "Oh my god, they shot him," and acts like he's been shot, and just runs out, then just like jumps out the window. It's like, I'll see you later.
Yeah, at no point does her assistant go, I think he did it.
she goes, oh no, as he leaves, she goes, oh, Max, no. And he's like, well,
what are you going to do? I'm James Woods. I kill people.
What are you going to do? I'm James Woods. The guy shoot people. Apparently he's like a terror. What are you going to do?
He's also the urinal cake baker.
That's why he's so messed up.
Yeah. Who wouldn't be?
That's why he does...
James Woods, the urinal cake baker.
No, I can't believe. No, don't make that the title. Do not make that the title.
It's too obvious. It's too obvious. I'll try and
okay, I'm just saying because like,
else. But if I don't, I'm just saying that's the fallback.
Yeah, you've got till the end of the cast to come up with something.
Because like, just real quick though, because like that came from some asshole I met on Dark Age of Camelot before World of Warcraft. Like that's an old name. That is an old name.
Do you know what? I really wish that Urinal Cake Baker, had some kind of like runaway success and become sort of like a pro gamer, like YouTube superstar. And he's
oh my god, he's
Markiplier. Like, he's like, maybe I should have thought of a better name.
Yeah, maybe. Oh my god! I just don't want to give him any more power. I don't want to give him any power. I just think it's a crazy name. And if like, yeah, well, it used to be Urinal Cake Baker. Like it'd be the first comment we ever get on our YouTube videos. Hey, that was my name. Or it'll be like Spartacus, where everyone's like, "I'm Urinal Cake Baker." No, I am Urinal Cake Baker.
No, I am. I'm Urinal Cake Baker, and so's my wife.
So's my wife.
But that's one thing we did forget to mention is that the man that's working at the station that's been pirating Videodrome for Max is actually in on it.
Is he supposed to be Russian or Spanish or what?
I don't know. He keeps calling him
Patron.
Piero, doesn't he? Is it Piero he keeps calling him?
He calls him Patron.
Patron, that's it. He keeps calling Patron. But he's not... I was like, he's not really like Hispanic or anything.
Yeah.
So...
Well, I mean, most people... From my experience, when people like Spanish or like Spanish Americans, I should say, call people a name, it's like sometimes it's cabron, which is like a fun insult kind of thing, you know, not like it's not meant to be something you call a person like your boss or your mom and your dad. It's something you call like a good friend, like hey dude or whatever. But Patron is a brand of alcohol.
Yeah, it's weird.
So I don't know
really
what the hell they were doing. Like we want him to be weird and foreign, so make him just say a word. Is what it sounded like to me.
It's like a dork that came up with his own insult.
Yeah,
you're a flippin' nigger. So we found out that he's in on it, and he was actually just supplying him with the tapes, and it never was being broadcast. Like it never was just like being broadcast from Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
he was just giving him the tapes to expose him to it because they wanted to broadcast it on Civic TV, which is the reason why. They send him to kill his the other two heads of the company so they can control Civic TV and broadcast it somehow. I'm not sure of that plan. But when he goes to kill Bianca Oblivion, she kind of turns the table on him and shows him the tape of Nikki being killed.
Yes,
on Videodrome, which
she does.
And then there's another weird like an arm outstretches from the TV and shoots him twice, and then the TV's bleeding, and it's like his chest is the screen. And it's almost, I think it's supposed to symbolise that she's basically destroyed the programming that they've imprinted in his mind. And then really, she kind of...
that makes sense, because doesn't she say something at the end about, like, she weakened it or something?
Yeah.
She weakened Videodrome. Or was that she was saying something he did?
when he kills Barry Convex, he's weakened it.
I'm getting
confused.
confused.
He's one of the guys. But she basically breaks his programming and then really just does the same thing and just programs him to go and kill them instead. So he's essentially just being used by everyone at this point.
Yeah.
Because he's just... And we know the police are after him, so he's so fucked. So she reprograms him to go after Harlan, who's the guy that was given him the tapes, and Barry Convex, who's... He runs the... Was it that glasses shop, isn't it? Spectacular Optical. That's it. Optical Corporation, which supplies really cheap and affordable glasses and air-to-air missiles for NATO or something like that. It's like, fair enough.
Yeah, I thought that was the weirdest thing. Like, yeah, we make glasses for people, and then we also make like guidance systems or laser guidance systems. It's like, how do you do both of those things?
You gotta have a side hustle.
It's like the Umbrella Corporation. Like, we're a pharmaceutical company that make monsters. Monsters for the military.
Right.
And so she sends him to kill them. I love the way he it wasn't until the second time I actually watched this a couple of years ago that I realised what it is he does to Harlan, where he goes to go and see Harlan, and Harlan's like, oh, so you did it then? He's like, yeah. He's like, so do you want another assignment? He's like, no, I'm open to it. So he then takes out a Betamax tape which looks like a pizza to go and put into his stomach slit.
No. Pizza looks better than that. All right.
It's a pizza Betamax. And he puts it in, and then he does. I don't know. First time I watched it, I had no idea what was happening when he puts his arm in and just starts screaming, and then he pulls it out, and it's just like this bloodied stump. And I thought he just like mangled his arm.
Oh no! It was a Steelhunt grenade.
Yeah,
it was it's a fucking stick grenade.
It's a German grenade. Yeah.
I was like, what the hell? Is that like a blender thing? Or is it like one of those little like stirrer things? Or is it like, is he going to punch people with that? And then it blows up. And I was like, it's my favorite grenade.
I was like, it turns his...
As an aside, what's your favorite grenades?
Stick grenades are awesome.
Aren't they?
Okay.
I mean, you can imagine throwing those things. You can get a good hurl in on those if they're like top heavy like they should be. You can get distance on that, you know?
Yeah. They're really practical, like, in terms of like throwing. They're quite practical.
Yeah. Leave it to the Germans.
Even if you, because like some people can't throw balls or particularly well.
Yeah.
With those, it's so much easier for people. But anyway,
you can hurl that thing. I wish I could throw one right now. I've never thrown one before. It's on my bucket list to throw a shield hot grenade.
Like whenever I'd play any kind of war game, it's like, are you going to pick normal grenades or stick grenades? I even threw him better in that. But so yeah, he like mangles his arm in and turns it into like the stump into like a stick grenade. So it blows up. Yeah. And then blows up the wall behind him. And again, it that's watching it this time as well. It's made me question it even more if any of this is happening, because it's even when the wall explodes, it's like this warm blue colour behind it, like where the hole is, and he just steps through.
Yeah, he steps through, and people are cool with him.
It's like, any of this happens? And then one of my favourite effects in the whole movie happens.
Yeah, it's a good effect.
So he knows that Barry Convex is now like he's like some kind of like function, isn't he, to show off his new glasses, our new line. And he's there, and he's got his gun, and he's trying to be incognito, and he's just like, the police are after us, like, dress differently. And he steps up onto the stage, and poor old Barry, as soon as he sees him, and he knows what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And it's not a clean shot. Like, he shoots him like 2 or 3 times in like the stomach, and then once in the head. Grabs a microphone and screams, "Long live the new flesh," and then just runs off.
Yeah, death to Videodrome, long live the new flesh.
Yeah, and then everyone's going, what the fuck? And then, poor old Barry.
Yeah.
My favourite effect in the whole movie, his body, just where he was shot, just bursts open. And they look like tumours, don't they? It looks like cancer. It's like exploding out of his chest, and then his head and it's gross and it's horrible because he's kind of still alive at the time, because he's kind of screaming.
Yeah.
And even when he runs out the room, you can still hear him screaming over the speakers.
Yeah. And like,
that's
it's
horrible, and I love it.
so crazy, like, the effect, though. It's like, what was on him? Did they just have a lot of, like, really interesting, like, effects that slide off? Because, like, is it like a full form, like, effect where it's, like, just like a body double? Or is he wearing something?
The hand might be real. I think the hand might have just been coming
puppet.
out and the hand's moving, and that's a real thing, like, under the stage. But yeah, it's a really good looking effect as well. Like when his head splits open.
Yeah, that's what I'm
like
saying.
The detail, like the skull. Yeah, it's great. Really, really wonderfully disgusting.
I'm watching it on YouTube as we speak.
Okay.
And just one thing I want to add is when he puts his, when he goes, Death to Videodrome, long live the new flesh, right? He like, not only does he drop the mic,
Oh,
like, he
right
raises
there.
his hand up with his gun and like shakes it like
It's like,
yeah, like pep rally kind of, and everyone else is just like, running
Fight the system.
fear for their lives.
But it's just, and again, like if it sounds like we're just brushing over this and just, it's because it's difficult to that's really what happens. Like he just shoots him and then massive cancer bursts out of the guy's stomach and head.
Yeah, you'd think that he would
again,
just die from the gunshots, but no, instant cancer.
Like nasty. And again, you don't know if any of that happening is real or if he's just walked in and just shot the guy in the face.
Right. Well, the other thing is that like with Harlan, like the wall blew up and then Max walks out of it, and then the people on the other side of the wall react like nothing happened. And yet with Barry Convex's death, people were like, "What? Oh my God, he shot somebody!" So it's like, which of those two things happened? Did either of those two things happen?
Exactly. I think that's the point. The point, not the point.
A good pint, though, right? Let me tell you.
Yeah, exactly, definitely. I think many were consumed as well as various drugs when David Cronenberg wrote this.
Yeah,
but,
at the same time too. Same time, they got crunk. They got 80s crunk.
Oh, Cronenberg. And I think that's the point. Like this, the second, like the last half of the movie. I think you're supposed to really question if any of it is happening. And I like that because the movie's so weird, even leading up to that it could be.
Yeah.
And at this point, he's successful, so he just needs to kind of hide from the police. So he hides in an old dilapidated boat.
Yeah, like he goes
As
to
you
like
do.
a boatyard. He doesn't break the chain. He just breaks in. He's like, yeah, this is loose enough that I can squeeze through there. And like that's one of the things that they probably had. We need to have somebody who's really skinny, really lean dude, so we can just have him squeeze through a fence that we found somewhere. Then we're gonna pretend like it's a boatyard afterwards.
But yeah, he climbs onto and it does look nasty as well. It really genuinely looks.
Oh yeah, some
dank,
Silent Hill
cold
shit right there.
Oh,
everything's dilapidated, and obviously there's squatters there. He had like found an empty wine bottle under some raggedy blankets and a disused mattress. It looked like Half-Life 2 or Fallout 3, like had a baby in the same room, and just it looked great though. I like that room. Yeah.
It did. It looked really horrible. It looked cold as well. It looked really cold and just very, very unlivable. Really horrible. But so he goes and then again sees another vision of Nikki. Again as a TV. She's talking to him through the TV.
Yeah.
This is how that basically tells him he has to transcend. That's basically what she's telling him to do.
Right.
And then shows him. Because she says that he's weakened Videodrome, but he's not destroyed it, and to do so he must transcend, dispose of the old flesh to have the new flesh, and then she says, if you don't know how to do it, I'll show you, and then shows him footage of him standing there, kneeling down, saying "Long live the new flesh" and shooting himself.
Yeah.
And then lots of blood and viscera and gore bursts from the TV. So. He sees that and goes, okay.
I really don't know how I feel about this scene because I feel like, aside from like, do not do what television tells you to do.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. There's something weirdly poetic about the fact that literally the same thing plays out twice within a minute. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it shows one thing exactly, and then it does the exact same thing over again in the exact same way again.
And I think that helps the feeling of unreality to it as well.
Yeah.
That it's so insane that you wouldn't, like, if you were shown to do something, you wouldn't do it the same way again, would you? But he does it like exactly the same. He says it's because it's just the same scene back again. So is he crazy?
Not only that, but it's kind of metatextual, like, comment, because you know he's seen himself do it on a screen, and then we watch him do it on a screen. Yeah. It's like, you know, screens within screens.
Screenception.
It screens all the way down.
So many screens. But yeah, he shoots
I
himself.
Screen, you screen, we all screen for ice cream.
For the new flesh. And yeah, he shoots himself, and that's it.
Yeah.
It just fucking ends. And to be fair, I don't know where else you could really go for it.
Oh no,
from
I'd have no way to know how this would end at all. And honestly, I think like I don't even know if any of it happened.
Exactly. So that's probably why it's the best way to end it, because then he could have, for all we know, he could have just gone mad and just shot himself. He could really just be in his apartment the whole time, and he might have just woken up and shot himself.
Or maybe he never had an apartment.
He just lived on a dilapidated.
Yeah, he just dreamed.
That's home.
You know,
he was actually homeless the entire time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did read that there were 3 endings originally, 3 different endings that they'd shot to do, and that the one they went with was James Wood's idea. He thought that was the best one to go for. Like, no, I think that's the best way to do it. And there was an epilogue written where Max, Nikki, and Bianca would all be in the Videodrome room, and they'd all have the slits in their stomach, and then weird sexual organs would come out.
No,
but they were like,
nah,
too expensive, mate.
No. No,
that's very David
Cronenberg.
Cronenberg.
Man, you mean that I can have all these weird stomach slits, but I can't have these as well?
No, you don't.
It's like, no, David, you've had enough stomach slits.
But it's like, again, like, just it wasn't until like, sitting down actually trying to talk about it. It's a very difficult film to explain.
Yeah,
and I know I've said that a lot because it really is. Like, even I've now just now, because now we've got to the end, I've brought the Wikipedia article up, and even then, like, reading it, it's just it's difficult, like, just to say, like, so Convex then inserts a brainwashing videotape into the VCR in Max's torso. Under Convex's influence, Max murders his colleagues at Civic TV and later attempts to murder Bianca Oblivion, but she manages to stop Max by showing him a videotape of Nikki being strangled to death. That's not what happens, but you've got to see that, you know?
Yeah.
Then it just says Bianca then reprograms him to turn against Videodrome. On her orders, Max kills Harlan and Convex. Afterwards, Max takes refuge on a derelict boat, where Nikki appears to him on the television. She tells him he has weakened Videodrome, but in order to completely defeat it, he has to ascend the next level and leave the old flesh. Television then shows an image of Max shooting himself in the head, which causes the set to explode, splattering the deck of the ship with blood and gore. Reenacting what he has just seen on the television, Max utters the words, "Long live the new flesh," and shoots himself. Like, it's difficult to explain that
collection
in
of
words.
Yeah. To anyone else.
Yeah.
Like, watching it, you go, okay. That's weird, but okay. It's such a weird film. Like, part of me, I don't regret picking it because it gave me an excuse to watch it again, but I regret having to try and explain it.
Right? Yeah, it's a difficult thing to explain, and it's only something you'd want to talk about with other people who've seen the movie, like us.
Exactly.
Like,
that's why
maybe tomorrow at work I'll tell my coworker about it, and then he'll be like, and I'd be like, yeah, I'm serious, and then blah blah blah. He's like, okay. You know.
Do you know what it reminded me of something really creepy that actually happened in real life, and I was going to bring it up once we kind of finished the talk about the movie,
right.
which I guess we're kind of at. So have you guys ever heard of the Max Headroom TV Hijack of the 80s?
I've heard of it. I don't know much about it.
Yeah?
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Oh, it's so, like, it's like a creepypasta, but it's real. It really happened.
Yeah.
Essentially, these, it's... I believe it's very difficult to actually hijack television. I don't know if it's something to do with the power of the transmitters or if they have anti kind of like hijacking stuff, but essentially it's very difficult to do. And someone managed it for like an extended period of time, dressed up in a Max Headroom mask, saying very strange things, spanking a woman's bottom, And this was in the middle of, I believe it was kind of like a routine rerun of Doctor Who on an American TV channel.
Wow.
And
So you go from Tom Baker to softcore porn.
Yeah, and it was big news because no one actually found the people who did it, and it's still kind of like one of those kind of like, open cold cases where we're probably never going to find out, but no one knows.
Maybe it was the Zodiac killer.
No.
Maybe
he got bored with killing people and was like, I'm just going to hijack TV instead.
I'm going to do a really, really strange Max Headroom impression. But yeah, it's definitely worth checking out. And the whole kind of, pirate broadcast, snuff TV kind of feel of the movie reminded me of that. So I thought I'd mention it. It's cool.
Yeah. It is cool.
Oh, and by the way, because there was no time to say it during the discussion of the film, I looked up the word that he was saying, padrone, and apparently it's just Spanish for like patron or master, so it's essentially him saying boss.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah,
okay.
So
That
there you
makes
go,
sense why he kept saying it to him.
Yeah. Hopefully people have heard that before they go, excuse me, actually you're not sensitive enough. You should know every language ever and all the words so that you don't have to have me tell you what they are.
Well, I would say stop composing that comment, but to be honest, seeing as we don't get many comments, it would be quite nice if you corrected me.
Do it so
go
I can
ahead.
shoot you down.
You're halfway through it now. Commit.
Yeah, commit.
Yeah, just do it.
Press
I love
that
people like
button,
that.
and while you're at it, smash the like button and subscribe.
And facepalm the
Smash
subscribe.
the shit out of it. Smash it with your face.
Oh boy.
Until the blood runs.
Yeah. Until your head explodes.
So yeah, with like horrible tumours. Such a cool effect. I might go and watch that scene again.
Go watch that scene on YouTube. I just did. And aside from the fact that the way he shakes his fist when he says "Long live the new flesh" is hilarious. Yeah, you just see the effect over again, and it's just the one word is giblets. It's just I can't.
It's great.
I can't look at it and not think giblets.
Yeah.
And it's the fact you can still hear him just going.
As it cuts away to outside the hall. Yeah.
Oh my god, he's in so much pain. Yeah, hide the gun, James. It'll be fine.
You know what? I'll put a link in the description to that scene as well. So anyone who has got this far without watching the movie can at the very least understand what we were talking about.
I've just
with that
realised
scene.
David Cronenberg has a thing with heads like splitting open or exploding.
Okay.
Yeah, he does. It's like,
Yeah,
he
no, it
loves that
seems like
stuff.
David Cronenberg has got a lot of kind of issues.
Yeah.
That he
a lot of things.
that he brings to the work.
it's a shame because he doesn't do like horror or body horror or any kind of surreal stuff really anymore. He does more like drama now.
He grew up.
Like, last
Okay,
couple
I haven't seen anything. I think current by him in a while.
The last few films he made were drama films, and I'm pretty sure Robert Pattinson was in 2 of them. So yeah, maybe just he's made his money.
Oh yeah, Cosmopolis.
Yeah,
I heard
Cosmopolis
about that movie.
and
I didn't watch it.
Maps the Stars. He did The History of Violence, which I never watched, which I think was based on a graphic novel, and it had Viggo Mortensen in it. So
Yeah.
I think it was based on a graphic. Yeah, it was based on a graphic novel by John Wagner. So yeah, I mean, to be fair, at least he's not a one-trick pony. He likes to make lots of different movies, so there's that.
Yeah, maybe his career is
Yeah,
just
just
evolving with the times, because like
Yeah.
like we were talking about the Videodrome, there's a niche market for things, and when that market drives up, you have to go away. You have to do something else. You can't just, I'm going to keep putting out softcore porn and murder, and no one's going to watch it, and I'm going to make money. No.
Yeah.
So.
But so I think
That's
all I've really got to say about Videodrome, just because it's a film that all I can suggest is just watch it. Just watch it.
I don't know if I could
you will not believe
suggest
this
it,
stuff.
but
I would.
like certain people probably
I
wouldn't.
would.
Like my mother would not want to see that movie.
Watch it with your kids.
Watch it with
It's
your
fun
kids,
for the whole
yeah.
family.
Watch it with your dogs, maybe, or the 100 cats. You watch it with 100 cats. That'll be fine.
Watch it with 100 cats on your cat TV, because it's just a TV made up of cats.
Yeah, like you have like a huge, like rectangular. Well, they're all rectangular, but I mean like sideways, like bed where all the cats can like pile on top of you while you watch Videodrome, and just like pet your cats. That would be insane.
It's a couch made up of
Yeah,
cats.
huge
All
couch.
it's just
with 100 cats.
an
on
entire
it.
house.
Yeah.
entire house is just a writhing mass of cats.
Holy shit.
Videodrome would just be normal to this.
Yeah,
people.
it would be. I was just thinking about, like, if you had an allergy in that state, you'd probably have a problem. You'd have to move.
In that country.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining a complete sea of cats, right? Cats upon cats upon cats, with one guy on like a blow up mattress or something, just like he can't move because he's got allergies. It's like adrift in a sea of cats.
That's like and then it turns out that he opened the puzzle box from Hellraiser and it's actually his hell.
Yeah.
It's like, here are the kitty cats.
Oh no, kitty
They'll
cats.
They'll give you allergies forever.
I've never actually seen a Hellraiser movie.
Okay.
Broke my
I
heart.
think he's dead.
Oh, but yeah, that. So there you go. There's the insanity that is David Cronenberg.
A new
Don't
dimension.
worry, Chris. I'm sure we'll get on to Hellraiser at some point.
Sure.
Yeah.
We'll run out of movies eventually. So we'll have to, at the bottom of the barrel, watch some Hellraiser, I guess.
Hey, first two are good. It's just the other seven that are terrible.
It's my turn to do King Ezekiel and say, but not on this day.
Yeah.
Because
But
it's
not
my
on this
choice.
day. Dead. My CG tiger was not allowed.
Wait, didn't like Aragorn say that too?
Yeah, like everybody pretty much in any kind of like when they want to be epic. Like me and Ken have been joking about this watching this season of Walking Dead. It's basically like someone says to King Ezekiel, you know, like pre-apocalypse or post-apocalypse, who cares? But like, do you want to go to like Starbucks? And he's like, not on this day. On this day we go to ice cream.
Today we have chicken.
Chicken, yes.
Yeah, he just can't stop himself.
Yeah, but at least it works in Lord of the Rings because they actually spoke like that.
Right, yeah, that, and I mean, it was a great part of that speech, you know, like, we may acknowledge our fear, but not today. We'll acknowledge that tomorrow after we're dead.
Yeah, after we're dead.
Yeah, save it for
And
later.
That's the best time.
Save it for
And
later.
Aragorn wasn't clearly overconfident as fuck as well.
Yeah, that is true.
Whereas King Ezekiel was just like, we'll be fine. Oh no, it's all gone to shit.
Yeah,
Now I'm depressed. Like, get out. I hate you. I
yeah,
hate your entire settlement. Just get out of the series.
yeah.
And take those trash people with you as well. They're annoying.
There were no trash people in the comics, thankfully.
Yeah, I've heard that. I heard that they were introduced just in the show, which has annoyed people that have read the comics and watched the show. They're like, but they're terrible.
Yeah.
But they weren't in the
Yeah, why
comic. Why
add
that?
them? Why add that? That's something you don't have to
I
add
would-
at all.
I would still take someone who says like not on this day and all that kind of shit.
Oh, yes.
Then says like, you know, oh, the
And the
blinky
money
blank in the sky that gives us warmth and sustenance. Many
it's like the-
long people have wondered.
Long ago.
Yeah.
It's like the writer had just finished watching Beyond Thunderdome, and was like, wow, let's have that.
Yeah, you're 35 years old. This happened 4 years ago.
Yeah. Remember your education? Any of you?
Yeah.
Exactly, like it would take a substantial amount of time.
Yeah.
I did see one half-joking theory that they're actually all inmates from an insane asylum.
I mean, sure, but like, tell us that. Then we'd go, oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why. Oh, all right, sure. You know, for them, maybe they were locked up for so long that they don't remember certain contexts or something. But no, that's not what happened.
No, exactly. They still know how to use guns.
Yeah.
Fuck off. Also, we're going to stay in this trash yard with lots of zombies that have got like spikes and stuff on them that we've made. Hopefully one of them doesn't get out and stab us.
Yeah. I mean, tetanus is a real fucking thing.
Yeah. Strangely enough.
Except to them, it's like it's the metally death. You know.
Yeah.
It's the metal death. No, what would they call it? No, they'd call it something stupid. Like it would be like, what would be the steel infection?
No.
No,
Steel
infection
blood.
is too big a word
Yeah.
for them.
No, it would
It's the
be
bad from steel.
The steel bad.
Steel growth.
Steel
Steel
growth.
Yeah, it's like
Steel
get out.
skin? I don't know.
Steel skin. Oh my god, it was steel skin. Yeah, it's like what was it? Grayscale in Game of Thrones. Steel scale.
I was
Oh yeah, grayscale.
I was listening to our podcast while working out, and like I usually do, and just to check for errors and stuff. And there's a rant I went on with Game of Thrones that was so great, and it filled me with pride that I even did it. And like when you mentioned grayscale, I was like, that never goes anywhere in my head. Like immediately, like just launched into that idea because like even when I know of the TV show, it doesn't really go anywhere. And it just makes me angry. Whenever Game of Thrones is mentioned, it makes me angry. My brother loves the TV show, and that's fine. You know what? If all you've ever seen was a TV show, please enjoy the TV show. But, when it comes down to what we've experienced through the books and what we understand of, like, good storytelling, like, the rest of the story doesn't make any sense at all, and I kind of wish that it was just, like, cut into, like, a fifth of what we've seen, and then, like, the rest of it could just be, like, in, like, extra novels later on afterwards, because, anyway, what are you going to say, Tom?
You've reminded me of my favourite meme from the last season, which is just, like, grayscale is this horrible thing that, hardly anyone has ever survived. And then, like, Sam fixes it in 10 minutes because he followed the instructions.
Read a book, people.
It's like, what did you do, Sam? Well, I read the instructions and I did the instructions.
But it's dangerous. But I did it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Will no one else try at all?
Well, don't do it again.
Yeah, don't do it again. Yeah, stop it. You're forbidden from healing grayscale. Fuck.
Yeah.
Like,
you're lucky that he's the main character.
Was the king or the king's brother. He had a daughter who had grayscale. If anyone should have grayscale cured, it's her. And they were just like, nah, she's fucked. Like, that's what I'm talking about with this story. It's like, why is that true then? Like, did word just never get to the king's brother that there's a cure for grayscale?
I never thought to ask.
Yeah, like no maester knows about it. Why is it forbidden? It would be different if it was told why it was forbidden, but it's not. It's not at all shared, as far as I know. Not at all shared why it's forbidden. It's just a convenient plot device. We don't tell anybody about the cure for grayscale because they might die, but they will die with grayscale. So we're not fucking try anyway.
Yeah, or even if it was those that remove it, it passes on to them. Something like that.
Sure.
You're dooming yourself.
Doesn't mean you can't try. People should be
you
able to
kill
volunteer.
Them. Yeah. Oh well. Anyway.
Yeah, you guys, it's my choice. So.
What have you got for us this time, Tom?
Well, I'm picking
what is it?
Is it Meet the Feebles? Finally.
Is it good?
Well, I'm making up for my last choice, which was Dead Alive / Brain Dead.
Yes.
I feel like the choice I'm about to make is justifiable, even though some would say it borders on not really being a horror film. I think fundamentally it kind of is, but obviously it's a hybrid with another genre, which I won't say immediately because you might guess it. So I would like to take us on a trip to the fictional country of Valverde in South America, which I think I talked to you guys before about being kind of like a made up place that loads of different movies use. Like Die Hard 2, the Colonel comes from there, and
I think
Commando,
they did it in
Arnold
in Commando.
Schwarzenegger goes there.
He says, yeah.
Well, we're going to stick with Arnie, and we're going to watch Predator. Yes, which is just a fucking good movie that I haven't seen in a long time, so we're watching it.
That's a really cracking way to go out as well for the year.
Yeah, because it will be the season 1 finale, so yeah, Predator's good.
Predators, yes. And it's just been the anniversary of that as well, I think. So.
Is it? Oh,
yeah, they've been showing it at the Prince Charles Cinema in London.
Yeah, 1987.
Same. Have you either of you seen that really hilarious fan-made poster for it that makes it look like a rom-com?
No.
It's just like a really nice picture of Carl Weathers and Arnold Schwarzenegger, and they're all nice and smiling. They're wearing nice like polo. I think it's like polo shirts.
It comes up suggested in Google if you write it in. So yeah,
it's like on a white background, and then the Predators in the background as well. And it's like, oh, it looks like a nice movie, and the font's all nice.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
And they're just all nice and smiling. It's like, oh, then they're so nice. So yeah. I'm unfortunate. I love that movie.
The reason why I wanted to watch it again, but also like Chris got me onto listening to Arnie's autobiography, which I'm still doing. I'm still getting my way through it. It's really good.
Yeah.
And So I want to watch Predator.
Do it. If it bleeds, we can kill it. Now.
Yes.
I'm
and
looking at that
obviously
picture you mentioned.
infamously
It's like,
has
oh my god.
Get to the chopper.
It's great. It's brilliant. I want it. I want that poster. It's so great. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, I'm saving that.
It's like, oh, that looks like a nice movie.
Yeah, I mean, we probably won't cover it on the podcast, or we might do, but ages from now. But I'm gonna watch Predator 2 as well. I'm gonna like double bill them. Because my memory of Predator 2 is that I actually really liked it, even though people kind of say it's not. Obviously, it's kind of not as good as the first one.
Yeah, it's not, but it's not perfect. But I think it's still a fun movie.
Yeah. So we're gonna double bill them, and so I'll probably kind of mention little bits about Predator 2 and stuff when we do the cast. But
Yeah.
I'll try to stop myself from doing that.
No, that's fine. I'm up to doing it because I think the next one comes out next year as well.
Yes, and I believe it's Thomas Jane is going to be starring.
Yeah, I'm like Thomas Jane. Yes.
Yeah.
And it's been, I think it's written and directed by Shane Black, who was in the original.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So so I've got faith in he wrote a lot of the I think he wrote it all if not most of the Lethal Weapon movies as well.
Oh, they're billing it as a sequel to the first film.
Yep.
That's interesting.
He came on board and said it's not a remake. It's, if anything, a reboot, but it's in the same universe.
Nice.
And that's why, as soon as he said that, I was instantly interested. Because that's a series that does not need to be remade. Because
oh my god, Edward James Olmos is in it. I'm going to see it.
Yeah.
Day one. Fucking hell.
You want to see his craggy face?
I love Edward James Olmos. Ever since
Too
I
bad
watched
she won't
BSG,
live.
he's just the man.
He's in BFG.
BSG, not BFG.
No, BFG is an entirely different thing. It's a
like
big
BFG,
fucking
isn't
gun.
The brick-friendly giant.
Oh, there's that too. Yeah, sure. Whatever. You've played Doom, right?
Calling me a gun. Oh yes.
Okay. All right.
No, yeah. So anyway, yeah, Predator. Like, I'm down for that. It's gonna be awesome.
Okay.
Oh no! I have to watch another Schwarzenegger movie. Oh, what a shame.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know. This is what I'm finding.
Oh,
I've got some that I haven't seen before, and some that I have. I'm kind of like mixing between them.
It's always it's always nice to do
The next one I haven't seen, of course, that I'm going to watch is Conan the Barbarian.
You better.
Yeah.
Yeah, you better. Best movie ever,
reason,
#1 in my list.
We're building up to Christmas, and it just makes me feel Christmassy to watch Arnie films, and not just Jingle All the Way.
Yeah.
And also, I will directly quote the movie: "If you do not watch Conan the Barbarian, then to hell with you."
To hell with you. Yeah.
It's one of the best moments in the movie because it just emphasizes just how much of a fuck Conan doesn't give.
Yeah,
great.
I know. That's like my like you mentioned it, I'm sure. Like, but it's one of my favorite lines in the whole movie. Like, not there's a whole lot of them, but like that line specifically is just so good. He's like, he was saying something like let it be known that one stood against many. You know, give me the strength to fight. Let them, the one stood against many. And if you can't do that, then to hell with you. Like, what are you good for then? You know?
He's like talking to one of his gods, isn't he?
Yeah, he's talking to his father's god, the god of steel, Crom. You know, who would, if you don't know the riddle of steel, then he would laugh at you and toss you off his mountain when you pass on. Oh,
He'd be like praying, and it's just like, God, can you please give me this? If you don't, fuck you. Fuck off. So, but yeah, Predator, cool. Yeah.
But also, it's real quick because it sort of ties into the same thing. The other Conan line where he's eating chicken with Subutai at a campfire, and Subutai, like Conan's like, "Whoa, who is your god?" or whatever. After he tells Subutai about Crom, Subutai tells him his god is the god of the sky, and that his god hangs above the mountain, above Crom. And then Conan looks at him like, "You son of a bitch." Like a lot of visuals, like Tom, when you watch it finally, you'll start seeing.
Yeah, I'll look out for that.
Look for the facial expressions and the visuals. Like that's where most of the story, or rather, most of the dialogue is told. Is just through how they interact with each other. It's so good.
Cool. Well, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
It's good.
Yeah, I look forward to it.
Excellent.
Make sure you flex the whole time too. Just like, oh yeah. Okay, don't do that.
Just having orgasms.
But do some bicep curls while you're at it. Just like, yeah, all right, sure. Next arm,
Why the fuck not?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh, boy. Well, until next time, where we'll be ending out the season with Predator in time for Christmas.
Nice.
Matt, you have a YouTube channel.
I do. It's Lost in the Warpipe, and I've just recently finished a playthrough of The Evil Within 2. So it was a live stream, but it's all recorded up on there. So if you want to see me bitch and moan for live streaming, well...
Make it something you can't spoil for me, so I can watch it.
My friend sent me a copy of Landstalker on Steam, which is an old Mega Drive action RPG. So I was either going to do that or get round to buying the Stick of Truth the Fractured Butthole, and doing that instead.
Cool.
No, it's the Fractured Butthole.
Butthole.
Don't be so vulgar about it.
Inflection is everything.
Yeah.
Although I was also considering at some point, maybe in the new year, doing one night live streaming Resident Evil Survivor.
Oh boy.
With Ark Thompson.
Dark Thompson, just so everyone can see genuinely how short it is. It's really short.
Yeah, it is short. Deceptively
incredibly short. It's criminally short.
I think the majority of the time I spent with it as a kid was struggling with the controls.
Yeah.
that like artificially lengthens it out. Chris, you are working towards doing your DMC playthrough?
It's all recorded. I just have to edit and upload, and that's 20% done. So probably by the time we do our next podcast, it'll be finished. Hopefully before the end of the year, it'll be finished. And I've mentioned it before. I'm changing up the music and all that kind of stuff. And the good news is that YouTube is still copywriting striking me, which I expected, but they did not mute my videos. So I think I'm going to be okay. The only real question is whether or not I will use the Mega Man music or not, or if that will mute the video or not, because that's the minefield you have to do. You have to travel through when you do these kinds of things. Like, I was doing a Devil May Cry 4 Let's Play many years ago, which I'd already deleted because artistic problems. I was like, no, it sucks! I'm going to get it out of here! I'll do it again! Besides, I get to play DMC4 again. But besides that, I used Kamelot music during one of the boss fights, because it's awesome. I love Kamelot music. And then it's like, not Camelot. I mean, the band Kamelot, Kamelot. Not like...
Excellent band.
Yeah.
Excellent band.
I'm not talking like medieval folk music that would be out of place. I'm talking about metal music that would be totally in place. And I was very surprised when they muted the entire video from beginning to end because I was using copyrighted music. So I was like, I can't do that? Like, I had edited it so the lyrics matched up with the action. I put some real time into that. It wasn't just like, I'm going to slap this on there. I was sliding that audio up and down the timeline, just trying to get it to match up perfectly. It was the song Pandemonium, and there's a part where it says like a crimson line across the something or other, but in the crimson line thing, and there was a part where I was doing a move that had like a red line to it, and it was just like, yeah, like a music video. This is going to be awesome, and yeah, they blanked it out. So I was like, fuck! What am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to be creative if I can't use other people's creative works? That's my story, though. Tom?
Oh, blood red line through the sonosphere.
Sonosphere, yes, thank you. That's what it is. I love that line. It's so awesome. Like, visually, I can see
the way he sings it is awesome as well.
The way, yeah.
We miss you, Khan.
I do too.
Yes, although I love Tommy as well.
He's cool
Sorry,
too, yeah.
This is strictly Kamelot with a K talk, but they've had a change. They had one change of. Well, they did actually have one singer before Khan, I think, but that doesn't really count. I think it was like one album. So yeah, Khan for the vast majority sang, and then it switched over to Tommy in like 2012, somewhere around there. And Khan has got this just really. I'm just aware that I'm talking about a band. This is not a music podcast.
No, it's not.
Suffice to say, go listen to Kamelot. It's really good. And of course, watch Chris's DMC playthrough when it finally comes up.
I mean, it'll be a well-played playthrough. It's not a hitless playthrough because I don't want to spend that much time like trying to develop a no-hit strategy when other people have already done that. You know, mine is different.
There's no point.
Yeah, no point to it.
No.
Okay. And by the time this podcast goes up, hopefully, if it goes up before Christmas, I might not have started, but over the Christmas period, I'm beginning my speedrunning of Gregory Horror Show. I'm going to do the first stream, which is going to be me just playing through the game ordinarily, pointing everything out about the plot and the story. And from there, I'm then going to start explaining the speedrunning tactics and start actually going for attempts and try and defeat my nemesis, Speedword.
Yeah.
Who I still don't think knows I exist yet, but that's okay. He will.
Yeah, he will. You'll introduce yourself when you destroy his record.
Yes.
Yeah.
To hell with you.
To hell with you.
Turn up at his doorstep with a written link to your video, and you just like slam it on his door and just run away.
Well, no, I just want to post the world records like from underneath his feet and then say Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, motherfucker.
Or Merry Christmas, yeah.
That's why I've waited a year to do it, of course.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's all been in the pipeline. This has been part of the plan all along.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the great plan, yes. Yeah. With capital letters.
Plan.
So, yeah, that's what I'll be doing. And until next time, enjoy Predator, everybody, and we'll see you next time.
Yep.
Long live the new Flash.
Yeah, long live the new Flash.
No one remembers Death to Videodrome at all.
Death to Videodrome.
Yeah.
Long live the new Flash.
Long live the new Flash sounds like something people like. It sounds weird the first time you say it, but then when you've said it so many times, it just sounds so kind of like long live the new Flash.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
Have we stopped?
Yeah, we've stopped. This episode of Spoilers of the Damned was hosted by Axton10_61, Madicus Finch, and Garlips. To find out about us, as well as join the discussion on our Discord, check out all the links in the description below. Please feel free to leave a review or rate us on your podcast app of choice.